Chapter 770 Inventory Gains, Subscribe Requested. _3 Observing every aspect of the myriad tribes' powerhouses, Lin Yuan had developed a concrete approach to the opening of the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. Physical body. Soul. Lin Yuan's eyes shone brightly. The physical body and soul were the foundations of the martial path evolutionary path. Starting from the 4th rank 5th stage section, Lin Yuan's open martial path evolutionary path had focused on the understanding of rules and the development of the inner world. But by the 10th rank chapter, Lin Yuan's attention returned to the physical body and soul. With many special life forms among the myriad tribes' powerhouses as references, Lin Yuan gained a whole new level of understanding concerning the minute structure of the physical body and the essence of the soul. In terms of foundational aspects, human civilization indeed fell far short in comparison to those special life forms with profound heritages. Starting behind didn't mean always being behind. Lin Yuan's newly developed 10th stage martial Tao chapter was rapidly absorbing the strengths of these special life forms. Theoretically, if the 10th rank chapter opened up by Lin Yuan was cultivated by future martial arts evolutionaries, they would be no weaker than those special life forms in all aspects. Lin Yuan's observation of the myriad tribes' powerhouses in terms of their physical bodies, souls and understanding of rules, even memories, was not only a great help in perfecting the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. It was also incredibly beneficial for himself. Lin Yuan's physical body slowly evolved towards the utmost level of perfection, and the understanding of many rules, especially the pillar-level fusion rules, was rapidly improving. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Lin Yuan's expression shifted as he looked towards a floating silver mirror nearby. Finally, the initial refining is successful, Lin Yuan nodded slightly. This supreme weapon, the silver mirror, had no owner from the start. Moreover, Lin Yuan infused it with his mental power continuously in the two-dimensional world. From the time he began until now with the initial refining success, he had encountered virtually no setbacks or obstructions. After the initial refining of the silver mirror, Lin Yuan's consciousness entered the world contained within it. Boom boom boom. Within the two-dimensional world, the interior world of the silver mirror was nothing more than a cramped space of 10 square meters. But at this moment, as Lin Yuan's consciousness merged with it, he was immediately stunned. A world vast and boundless presented itself before Lin Yuan. The size of this space is at least 10,000 light-years in diameter, isn't it? Lin Yuan muttered to himself, but by size, the inner universe of a supreme being seemed to be about the same size. Such a massive world, once fully activated, would be no less than a supreme being making a full-powered effort, Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. However, to fully activate the silver mirror, one would have to be a supreme being. Even if Lin Yuan stepped into tier 11, he would at best barely activate it, let alone fully activate it? Probably far from it. Let's check the other exotic treasures. Lin Yuan followed his senses to a vast stone platform. A variety of exotic treasures were placed there. Upon a closer count, the total number of exotic treasures exceeded 100. As he left the two-dimensional world, the silver mirror began to revive, and these exotic treasures gradually recovered as well. If this were not in the world inside the silver mirror but in the main universe, the fluctuations emitted by these more than 100 exotic treasures would likely affect tens to hundreds of thousands of light-years. 11 of these exotic treasures belonged to human civilization, Lin Yuan identified, selecting them from over 100 items. During 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world, Xianyuan Dua and many other human civilization evolutionaries had been continuously searching for many rare treasures, handing over a total of 22 to Lin Yuan. According to the agreement between Lin Yuan and the Xiaqin Supreme Being, Lin Yuan could keep half of these 22 treasures after taking them out. So many exotic treasures. Lin Yuan looked at the nearly 100 remaining treasures with exhilaration. Even ultimate beings would probably be green with envy at the sight of so many exotic treasures. Stay calm, stay calm. Lin Yuan composed himself. These treasures were precious, but their practical use to him at the moment was limited. After all, the life level of Lin Yuan was still too low to fully utilize these treasures. Take it slow. Lin Yuan carefully transferred the 11 exotic treasures of human civilization into his inner world. No problem. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The 11 exotic treasures, 11 12-star strange treasures, their power completely contained, were floating quietly in his inner world. He'll take these treasures to Xiaqin Supreme Being. Lin Yuan placed these 11 treasures separately within his inner world, while the silver mirror and many other treasures were stored in the Shenhuang secret realm. After doing all this, the Taiyang divine spirit left the Shenhuang secret realm. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan was seated cross-legged when a figure silently appeared before him. It was none other than the Taiyang Divine Spirit. "You're back." A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. "The feather butterfly Supreme Being has been waiting for me for some time now." Lin Yuan's heart stirred as the Taiyang Divine Spirit left the Milky Way main star, heading towards a patch of starry sky. Days before, an incarnation of the feather butterfly Supreme Being had appeared outside the Milky Way main star, ensuring that nothing untoward befell Lin Yuan. After all, Lin Yuan was the only survivor from the white paper of all the myriad tribes' powerhouses. Although other different species weren't aware of this, human civilization had to be cautious. "Thank you, feather butterfly Supreme Being." Lin Yuan's Taiyang Divine Spirit flew out and bowed slightly to the ethereal figure in the starry sky. "No trouble at all," said the feather butterfly Supreme Being with a smile, her voice soft. "Shall I take you to our human civilization's third stronghold? The other Supreme Beings want to meet you." "The Supreme Beings?" Lin Yuan looked slightly puzzled. "Yes, Xiaqin and the other 7 all want to meet you." The feather butterfly Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan. 8 Supreme Beings? Lin Yuan held his breath. If you add the feather butterfly Supreme Being in front of him, that would be 9 Supreme Beings. 9 Supreme Beings of human civilization showing up just to meet him? Sir, the novel Undersphere. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Such an event was rare. Unless faced with a crisis of survival, human civilization's 9 Supreme Beings seldom gathered together, as most of them had their endeavors to pursue. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 771, The Confusion of the 9 Supreme Beings. Please subscribe. "There's no need to worry or fear, they just want to see you," said the feather butterfly Supreme Being softly. In the two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan swept through the different species in all directions, overwhelming and crushing special beings such as the 4 Divine Kings and other level 11 perfect legendary lives, shocking even the Supreme Beings. Thus, aside from Xiaqin Supreme Being, the other Supreme Beings were also alerted and developed a strong curiosity about Lin Yuan. "All right," Lin Yuan nodded. This was a good opportunity to deliver the 11 strange items. These 11 strange items were treasures that people like Shenyuan Dua and other human civilization evolvers had obtained through more than 10,000 years of immense hardship and even deadly battles with powerhouses of myriad tribes. Lin Yuan taking 50% was already more than enough, and he naturally would not embezzle. For Lin Yuan, acquiring these strange items was incredibly effortless, a testament to his absolute strength. For human civilization and other 11th rank evolvers, acquiring these strange items, especially in the later stages, was only possible through competition with powerhouses of myriad tribes, a difficulty that is imaginable. "Stand behind me." After looking at Lin Yuan, the feather butterfly Supreme Being initiated changes in the surrounding spacetime. "I can feel the distance between me and my true self stretching to countless light years in an instant." Lin Yuan's heart was turbulent, recognizing that the feather butterfly Supreme Being in front of him was not the true body, but rather an insignificant incarnation. Very soon, Lin Yuan followed the feather butterfly Supreme Being to a grand palace. "This is the number 3 stronghold of our human civilization," feather butterfly Supreme Being stopped and explained with a smile. The number 3 stronghold was where the 9 Supreme Beings usually met. After the creation of the virtual world by human civilization, the number 3 stronghold was seldom used, as the Supreme Beings mostly gathered in the virtual world, which was more convenient and simple. Lin Yuan nodded solemnly. This palace exerted a great pressure on him. It was at least a supreme weapon and a very powerful one at that. Among the more than 100 strange items obtained in the two-dimensional world, none could surpass this palace in terms of oppressive force. Following behind the feather butterfly Supreme Being, Lin Yuan entered the palace. Deep inside the palace, 9 enormous thrones were occupied by 9 majestic figures. Upon arrival, the form of feather butterfly Supreme Being quickly dissipated. "Greetings to the 9 Supreme Beings." Lin Yuan immediately bowed to show his respect. Lin Yuan held great respect for the Supreme Beings in his heart because, for the Supreme Beings, protecting human civilization was completely altruistic. In the battlefields of different races, human civilization's 6th rank, 9th rank, 10th rank, and 11th rank evolvers fight fiercely with the different species, which although is deemed as duty, also allows them to gain substantial benefits and rewards. The merit point system devised by human civilization rewards those who contribute with many benefits and privileges. This has led to the dazzling state of human civilization today. A balance between input and output. But what about the supreme beings? They protect human civilization, devoting a great deal of time and energy. What do they gain from it? Essentially nothing. Such formidable physical strength. One of the supreme beings, the ancient power supreme being, stared at Lin Yuan and murmured. As the ultimate existence in the path of strength evolution, the ancient power supreme being's greatest asset was physical strength, adhering to the belief that strength breaks all laws. Upon hearing this, Lin Yuan listened obediently. His physical body naturally far surpassed that of other 10th rank evolvers. The path of martial Tao was skilled in physical body strength, and with the enhancement from the mysterious gourd, his physical strength was 23 times that of the baseline. Additionally, cultivating the body of Shen Huang significantly increased physical strength, as well as enduring the infusion from the Chaos Void origin upon breaking through to the 10th rank. Under the influence of many factors, Lin Yuan's physical body had reached an inconceivably powerful level. Relying solely on physical strength, he could probably challenge an ordinary 11th rank evolver. This was only the physical body of Lin Yuan's Taiyang divine spirit. His true body was even stronger. Physical strength is insignificant compared to the comprehension of rules. Another supreme being on a distant throne, the Void God Supreme Being, slowly said. The ancient power Supreme Being glanced at the Void God Supreme Being. The Void God Supreme Being, who mastered the Space Great Tao, was definitely one of the trickiest among the 9 supreme beings of human civilization because it was impossible to locate his true body. Without a physical body, how can there be any comprehension of rules? Another supreme being spoke up, showing a kind smile to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan, Xiaqin Supreme Being said from his throne, "We are very pleased with your performance in the two-dimensional world." CTH Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. "Thank you, Supreme Being," Lin Yuan immediately replied. To satisfy 1 or 2 supreme beings was already very difficult, but to satisfy all 9. At least since the beginning of the Starry Sea era, it had never happened. Supreme beings, here are the 11 strange items. Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly, and 11 strange objects appeared in front of him. Among these 11 objects, 8 were 12-star strange material ingredients and 3 were supreme weapons, 2 of which were attack type and 1 was defense type. They're all fairly decent. The 9 supreme beings seated on the throne glanced at them and nodded slightly. To them, these strange objects were not very effective, but they could at least enhance the foundation of human civilization. Moreover, since Xianyuan Dua and other Tier 11 evolvers had perished within the two-dimensional world, these were items they sought for him. Though their usefulness was not as great as Lin Yuan's, they still served to somewhat compensate for what was lacking. "Lin Yuan, if you have any strange objects that you don't need, you can exchange them for merit points at any time and then trade them in the treasury of human civilization for 12-star strange treasures that can be of help to you," Xiaqin Supreme Being reminded him. This time in the two-dimensional world, only Lin Yuan had successfully made it out alive. Considering the size of the hall, it was definitely the largest for Lin Yuan. With Lin Yuan's strength that swept through the two-dimensional world, he definitely obtained a batch of strange objects, in addition to the 11 distributed to him. Xiaqin Supreme Being estimated that Lin Yuan had probably more than 30 strange objects in his possession. Xiaqin Supreme Being wasn't interested in the strange objects Lin Yuan held, as they were obtained through his own strength and skill, but not all the strange objects were useful to him. The human civilization's treasury also recorded a batch of 12-star strange treasure weapons, with a rich variety, which could only be exchanged with merit points. Lin Yuan could completely choose those suitable for himself. "All right." Lin Yuan nodded. Among the nearly 100 strange objects obtained from the two-dimensional world, most were not useful to him. Instead of keeping them, it was better to exchange them for treasures and rarities that could benefit him. After all, human civilization would not let him suffer a loss. "I will take these 11 strange objects, then." Xiaqin Supreme Being waved his hand, and the 11 strange objects before Lin Yuan disappeared. "I have asked you to come here because we plan to join hands and take you to the banks of the River of Time once more, to improve your understanding of the rule of time and deepen your understanding of the fusion of time and space, striving for you to comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rule sooner." Xiaqin Supreme Being continued to speak. Lin Yuan had long penetrated the rule of time, but like the space rules, what is called a thorough understanding of the rule of time, was only understanding one aspect of the rule of time. To finally comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rule, he still needed to continuously contemplate the rule of time. With Xiaqin Supreme Being's power alone, Lin Yuan could be liberated from the river of time for dozens of breaths. If the power of the 9 supreme beings were pooled, the time away from the river of time would naturally be even longer. Such assistance would be significantly more substantial towards Lin Yuan's meditation on the rule of time. Of course, when the 9 supreme beings join forces to forcibly liberate a life from the river of time, there will definitely be a backlash from the river of time and the entire universe. But considering the significant contributions Lin Yuan made in the two-dimensional world, even though they had already distributed the 11 strange objects, Xianxia Supreme Being and other Supreme Beings felt they should compensate Lin Yuan further. As for the backlash, as long as the timing was well managed and considering Lin Yuan was just a 10th rank life, they could bear the cost. Head to the banks of the river of time? Lin Yuan's expression showed slight hesitation. Being at the banks of the river of time, overseeing the entire river of time, is an unprecedented great fortune for most lives. But for Lin Yuan? He had already reached a pinnacle in his comprehension of the rule of time. Even if he were on the banks of the river of time again, it wouldn't be very beneficial. After all, as a 10th rank life, how far could he see in a brief visit to the banks? From an efficiency perspective, it was far less beneficial compared to absorbing the orb containing the comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rule by the powerhouses of myriad tribes. The most critical issue was Xianxia Supreme Being likely underestimated the difficulty of taking Lin Yuan out of the river of time again. Similar to resurrecting past deceased lives, the stronger the life resurrected, the greater the backlash cost borne by the Supreme Beings. Resurrecting a 6th rank life compared to an 11th rank life, the costs are naturally different. And fishing different levels of life out of the river of time to bring them to the banks also varies. Within the river of time, countless lives, based on the height of their own nature, show different body weights. Undoubtedly, the higher the essence of life, the heavier the body weight. 10th rank lives in the river of time are considered small fishes, while 11th rank lives qualify as big fish. As for Lin Yuan, even before falling into the two-dimensional world, he had already matched the strength of an 11th rank life, qualifying as a big fish. Now, having experienced the trip to the two-dimensional world and comprehended the spatio-temporal fusion rule, with his inner world transformed, even in the river of time, he would be considered a massive entity. Occupying a 10th to a 5th of the riverbed, he belonged to the strongest level just under those 11th rank complete legendary lives. Xianxia Supreme Being thought Lin Yuan was only a 10th rank life, at most close to an 11th rank life, so he assuredly believed he could easily take Lin Yuan to the banks of the river of time again. However, the actual truth was probably different from what Xianxia Supreme Being imagined. What is it? Xianxia Supreme Being noticed Lin Yuan's hesitation, his eyebrows slightly raised. Supreme Being, could I perhaps change my reward? Lin Yuan pondered for a while before speaking. Change the reward? Xianxia Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan, his expression slightly puzzled. What reward could be more important than observing the river of time? What reward could be more crucial than taking a further step towards comprehending the spatio-temporal fusion rule? Actually, I have already comprehended the spatio-temporal fusion rule. Lin Yuan thought for a moment and decided to be honest, otherwise he didn't know how to refuse Xianxia Supreme Being's enthusiastic offer. You have comprehended the spatio-temporal fusion rule? Xianxia Supreme Being fell silent, glancing at the other 8 Supreme Beings around him, his eyes showing a hint of confusion. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 772 10th Stage Martial Tao Chapter. Please subscribe, Citich Novelier. N.T. website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. On the 9 Grand Thrones, the 9 Supreme Beings looked at Lin Yuan, their expressions unusually displaying astonishment. He figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule? Lin Yuan figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule? With the talent Lin Yuan had shown, he had thoroughly understood the rule of time by the 9th rank. The Xianxia Supreme Being and other Supreme Beings did not doubt that Lin Yuan could figure out the spatio-temporal fusion rule. For most 11th rank evolvers, it would take billions of years to attempt what Lin Yuan, as one of humanity's strongest prodigies, would not consider a significant bottleneck or restraint. The Supreme Beings had hoped Lin Yuan would reach the ultimate, standing alongside them as a colossal pillar of human civilization. But the 9 Supreme Beings had never expected Lin Yuan to figure out the spatio-temporal fusion rule so quickly. Too quickly. So quickly that the Supreme Beings had not anticipated it at all. When Lin Yuan had thoroughly understood the rule of time, Xianxia Supreme Being had even given him a push, taking him to the shore of the river of time to observe its entirety. Now, he had figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule all on his own? And how long had Lin Yuan been at the 10th stage? Although he had spent over 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world, it was a lower-dimensional world devoid of any rule fluctuations, completely unsuitable for perceiving the rules of time and space. You really figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule? The Void God Supreme Being was somewhat surprised and couldn't help but ask. Time and space themselves are the highest pillars of rules, and Void God Supreme Being specializes in space, also boasting considerable expertise in time. By luck, with a slight movement of his thoughts, Lin Yuan invoked the fusion of the power of spacetime. Compared to the explosive growth of physical soul, discerning the subtleties of rule perception, unless actively demonstrated, is hard for outsiders to precisely identify. It truly is the spatio-temporal fusion rule. With just one look, the 9 supreme beings confirmed that Lin Yuan had fully mastered the spatio-temporal fusion rule. Xianxia Supreme Being felt quite helpless, as he had intended to offer Lin Yuan some insights into figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule, but now it seemed entirely unnecessary. Since you've already figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule, there really is no need to go and view the entirety of the River of Time. Feather Butterfly Supreme Being slowly said. Viewing the entire River of Time only aids in grasping the rule of time and figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule. As for more, the effects are not as great as one might imagine. After figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule, further cultivation relies on oneself, and external influences are very limited. With your current life level, figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule is indeed rare, but you must not be complacent or overconfident. If you want to reach the peak, figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule is only the beginning. You need to continuously grasp it, elevating it to the 2nd realm, 3rd realm, and even 5th realm. Xianxia Supreme Being wasn't sure what more to say, so he offered standard advice. To challenge the ultimate, the prerequisite is to comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rule up to the 5th realm. The time and effort it takes to go from the 1st realm to the 5th realm are hard to estimate. Xianxia Supreme Being's words caused a subtle shift in the thoughts of the other 8 Supreme Beings. He reached the 10th stage and figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule, and yet he should not be overconfident? What did that make them? Including Xianxia Supreme Being, none of the 9 Supreme Beings had figured out the spatio-temporal fusion rule at the 10th stage. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded in agreement. Xianxia Supreme Being was right. Figuring out the spatio-temporal fusion rule was just the beginning. The real challenges were progressing from the 2nd to the 5th realm. Many ancient starry sky deities who had lived for unknown eons were stuck at this level. But what the 9 supreme beings on the field did not know was that Lin Yuan had the myriad tribes' powerhouses' insights into the spatio-temporal fusion rule. Reaching the 5th realm in this fusion rule was not difficult for him, and it wouldn't even take much time. He could progress gradually. Lin Yuan's true target was the spacetime fusion rule's 6-fold realm. Only the 12th rank ultimate realm would hold real significance for him. It seems you really don't need to go to the shore anymore. But the two-dimensional world was beneficial. What reward do you want? The ancient power supreme being asked. The treasury of human civilization includes many treasures and rare items, some of which are of the 12-star level. He'll leave it to the supreme beings to decide. Lin Yuan immediately responded. He did not know what to choose, but as ultimate beings, the supreme beings would surely not make a poor decision. We decide. The ancient power supreme being and the other 8 supreme beings exchanged glances. Lin Yuan knew that the 9 supreme beings must have been communicating secretly among themselves. A moment later, Xianxia Supreme Being spoke, his expression somewhat solemn. Although you're only at the 10th rank now, you should also consider the challenge to reach the ultimate. This rare treasure should suit you. With a wave of his right hand, a hazy universe appeared before him, which then began to infinitely contract, transforming into a bead and flying towards Lin Yuan. Whoosh! As the bead slowly floated, Lin Yuan's expression shifted slightly. He felt as if he were in front of a vast universe. Is this a microstar universe? No, it's more real than a miniature universe. Among the many treasures and rare items Lin Yuan had seen, only the miniature universe closely resembled this bead. But it was only similar. Although the miniature universe had a complete set of spacetime rules operating, it was ultimately inanimate, but this bead seemed to be alive. This rare treasure, called Source of the Universe, can aid your inner world in its metamorphosis into an inner universe. Xianxia Supreme Being explained the use of the bead. Aid in metamorphosing the inner world into an inner universe? Lin Yuan took a deep breath. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 773 10th Stage Martial Tao Chapter, Subscribe Request, _2 Upon reaching the ultimate, the inner world would transform towards an inner universe, but the leap from a world to a universe? Such a span is akin to going from 1 to 10,000, 100,000, a million. This beat could assist the inner world in transforming into an inner universe, thus acting as a treasure beneficial for reaching the ultimate, enough to drive the ancient gods at the peak of 11th rank in the deep cosmic starry skies insane. This is too valuable. Lin Yuan, despite possessing numerous 12-star strange treasure weapons, recognized that these were merely external objects. Only by stepping into the 12th rank level oneself was the essence. It's not a matter of being valuable or not. Xianxia Supreme Being shook his head and said, "Take it." Yes. Lin Yuan immediately stowed away the source of the universe. All right. Let Yudi send you back. Xianxia Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan. This number 3 stronghold of human civilization was surrounded by a spatial temporal maze. Lin Yuan himself couldn't leave on his own. As Lin Yuan left, the 9 supreme beings on the field looked at each other once more. Xianxia, how exactly did you find this kid? His talent is too terrifying, figuring out the fusion rules of time and space at just the 10th stage? To be honest, I feel like with another retreat, that kid will reach the ultimate. The supreme beings conversed in low voices, their tones filled with awe. Outside the Milky Way main star, Lin Yuan's Taiyang divine spirit appeared silently. Back already? Lin Yuan glanced around, his expression thoughtful. I can sense it. The coordinates of the 3rd stronghold, located deep within layers of space, similar to the Shenhuang secret realm, but not as completely hidden as the Shenhuang secret realm. Forget it. I don't want to think about these anymore. Lin Yuan's figure disappeared, reappearing inside the Star Lord's Great Hall. Whoosh. The source of the universe flew out, hovering in front of his true self. Since the source of the universe could aid the inner world in transforming towards an inner universe, it was naturally prioritized for use by the true self. As for the 2 great divine spirits of Taiyin and Taiyang, as long as Lin Yuan could step into the ultimate, the 2 divine spirits would naturally be able to transform successively, and the inner world would likewise evolve into an inner universe. The source of the universe? Lin Yuan carefully observed the bead in front of him. In the presence of the Supreme Being, Lin Yuan did not examine it closely. But now there was no need for that. According to Xianxia Supreme Being's method, the use of the source of the universe only requires bringing it into the inner world, then contacting it with the world's power. Lin Yuan immediately began to try. Rustle, rustle. Lin Yuan's will descended upon the inner world, accompanied by the source of the universe. My inner world? Lin Yuan briefly scanned it, the vast inner world thriving at the center, an immense ancient tree towering, swaying slightly, exuding a unique aura, stabilizing everything within the inner world. It was the world tree. As a 12-star exotic treasure, the world tree had a stabilizing effect on the inner world. To some extent, the world tree also benefited the transformation of the inner world towards an inner universe, though slight and hard to notice. In a few centuries, my world tree should be able to bear world fruits. Lin Yuan looked around. Normally, a world tree would take at least 1 million to 10 million years from rooting to fruit bearing. But alas, the foundation of Lin Yuan's inner world was too strong, allowing the world tree to complete several million to tens of millions of years of growth in just 200 years. Let's begin. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and began to manipulate the power of the world to contact the source of the universe in front of him. The moment the power of the world touched the source of the universe, a series of scenes emerged in Lin Yuan's consciousness. Those were various cosmic scenarios from the beginning of the universe. Boom, boom, boom. The fist-sized source of the universe suddenly exploded, turning into countless fine powders, reforming into a scene of cosmic starry skies, gradually merging into Lin Yuan's inner world. As the creator of the inner world, Lin Yuan naturally sensed the changes in his inner world firsthand. The formerly vast inner world suddenly became ancient and profound, as if it had experienced endless years, spanning from the beginning of the universe to the present. Is this the essence of time? Lin Yuan was inexplicably shocked in his heart. The size of the inner world and the depth of its spatial layers only represented spatial essence. But now, Lin Yuan distinctly felt a change and significant enhancement in the temporal essence of the inner world, as if it had existed for a long time. For the inner world to transform into an inner universe, relying merely on spatial essence was insufficient. Temporal essence was equally indispensable. In terms of spatial essence, Lin Yuan's inner world was perhaps not even comparable to an 11th rank powerhouse, but in terms of temporal essence, it was slightly ordinary, and this could potentially become a fatal flaw when reaching for the ultimate. But now, with the infusion of the source of the universe, Lin Yuan's inner world's temporal essence was also replenished, integrating time and space as one. Sir the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The Supreme Beings must have seen that my cultivation time was too short, lacking in temporal essence. Thus they gave me this source of the universe. Lin Yuan was profoundly grateful in his heart, as the source of the universe was immensely helpful to him. With the depth of space I now possess and the length of time when I challenge Tier 11 and endure the Chaos Void Origin infusion again, perhaps I could bring my inner world close to the level of an inner universe? Lin Yuan secretly thought. Xiaxin Supreme Being granted the source of the universe, making up for Lin Yuan's lack of temporal essence. But the Supreme Beings certainly did not expect that Lin Yuan's inner world and spatial essence was already terrifyingly high. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 774 10th Stage Martial Tao Chapter, Subscribe Request? _3 And now the inner world inside him was still not Lin Yuan's limit. The fusion of time and space rules were merely at the first realm. Once it reached the fifth realm, the inner world would become even more perfect and complete. Xianhuang's secret realm. The Taiyang divine spirit sat cross-legged. In front of him lay item after item of exotic treasures, those being the 12-star strange treasures weapons. These exotic treasure weapons that are of no use to me could be broken down back into primal force to nourish the origin clock or simply serve as nourishment for my cultivation of the Xianhuang physique. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Supreme weapons were indeed powerful, but not every one of them was suitable for Lin Yuan. If one were to discuss compatibility, no weapon could compare to the origin clock. This weapon, made of origin fine gold, had always been nurtured by Lin Yuan and naturally was a perfect fit for him. The only drawback was that, compared with the supreme weapons, the origin clock was slightly lesser in rank, but the impact was not significant. Lin Yuan had mastered primal force and could revert all things back into the most fundamental pure power. Eventually he would continue to slowly nurture the origin clock, aiming to cultivate it into a supreme weapon. Of course, such a task could only be hoped for when Lin Yuan reached Tier 11. How extraordinary were the 12-star strange treasures. They couldn't just be reverted on a whim. Milky Way main star. After continuing to observe the changes in his inner world, Lin Yuan once again took out the Enlightenment light sphere of rules and immersed himself in cultivation. Besides normally understanding rules, Lin Yuan was also slowly perfecting the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. The core of the 10th stage martial Tao chapter lies in the physical body, in the soul, in the spirit will, returning to essence and roots. Only with a strong foundation does greater potential emerge. Lin Yuan continually observed one by one the physical souls of those special beings deep in the cosmic starry skies. Normally speaking, special beings were rare, and some unique special beings existed only once in the vast universe. Their mystical physical bodies, the essence of their souls, their innate abilities, even a supreme being could not peer into these aspects. Yet, thanks to 4 spheres of light given to him by the half-meter-tall old man, Lin Yuan could distinctly feel everything about many special beings, immensely propelling the perfection of the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. It is known that each unique special being is a darling of the universe, graced with everything close to the great Tao. Lin Yuan's use of these special beings' physical souls to perfect the 10th stage martial Tao chapter was truly a path with an extremely high limit lifting him to the heavens. Search * the novel Fire. Any * T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. It was not a path that led to a dead end or dead alley. It was like standing at the height of the universe and creating and developing an evolution path. Virtual world. Lin Yuan and Nalan comfortably sat together. Beyond his practices, Lin Yuan would also enter the virtual world to relax, albeit just with a sliver of consciousness, not hindering his normal practice of enlightenment. This time the two-dimensional world has fallen, and those different species strong ones suffered, especially the 4 divine kings, even losing the most suitable supreme weapons for themselves in there. Nalan had a somewhat schadenfreude attitude, although his avatar also experienced a fundamental loss by dying in the two-dimensional world. He was compensated to some degree by human civilization afterward. Lin Yuan returned 11 exotic items to the supreme beings, parts of which compensated various human evolvers. After all, Many human evolvers also contributed in the search for these exotic items, and naturally human civilization would not let them be at a loss. Indeed, quite tragic. Lin Yuan nodded. Originally the four divine kings were among the first tier of strong ones below the supreme beings. But now they had lost a weapon perfectly suited to them. Whether it was the Star Alliance or the human civilization or the Insect Race Alliance, all had collected a number of supreme weapons. But for life forms below the level of supreme beings, finding a suitable supreme weapon was nothing short of climbing to the heavens. Having lost that supreme weapon, even if the four divine kings received another supreme weapon bestowed by the Star Alliance, they could not return to the peak of their combat power. Moreover, the death of an avatar in the two-dimensional world meant a permanent loss of some of the spirit will. This also had a significant impact on their strength. The two factors combined. Although the four divine kings weren't reduced to mediocrity, they could no longer compare to beings like the Mother of the Tree Realm. Even their time for challenging the ultimate would be indefinitely postponed, but no matter how much it was delayed, the possibility of finally becoming ultimate had decreased. Apart from the four divine kings, many other special beings and different species strong ones also suffered great losses, at least losing part of their spirit will fundamentally. Spirit will, unlike physical body, cannot be improved with the help of rare treasures. To increase the strength of spirit will, one does not know how much effort is needed. Having lost a part permanently, the stronger the being, the heavier the loss. How about those different species strong ones? Unique special beings, how are they still beaten up by our human Lord Xueyu? In the competition in the two-dimensional world, only Lord Xueyu emerged as the ultimate victor. A smile appeared on Nalan's face. Although, at present, human civilization hasn't publicly announced that Lord Xueyu had successfully exited from the two-dimensional world, even the human civilization's evolvers have guessed that Lord Xueyu must have survived. The different species strong ones also have such speculations but can only speculate. As a peak clan with 9 supreme beings standing guard, other different species, despite their great losses, dare not do anything against human civilization. Time slowly passed. In a blink, 2.5 years had gone by. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan quietly sat there. What is a physical body? What is a soul? Thoughts surged in Lin Yuan's mind. The mystique of the myriad tribes' powerhouses' bodies, their innate abilities, etc., all converged in Lin Yuan's heart, forming the foundation of the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. One does not know how much time had passed. Lin Yuan slowly opened his eyes, a smile appearing on his face. 10th stage martial Tao chapter, completed. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 775 Human Civilization Part 10, subscribe please. Lin Yuan stepped into the 10th rank not long ago and soon grasped the first pillar-level fusion rule, becoming a grade A tier 10. That is, the 10th rank summit. But it was not until now that he finally carved out a complete 10th stage martial Tao chapter. During this process he also experienced tens of thousands of years in the two-dimensional world. This shows the difficulty of formulating the 10th stage martial Tao chapter. In fact, with Lin Yuan's Against Heaven's understanding, he had already created hundreds, even thousands of beginnings for the 10th rank chapter. But they were all unsatisfying as he felt the direction was not quite right. It was only after obtaining everything about the myriad tribes' powerhouses from the half-meter-tall elder inside white paper that he finally locked down the essence of the 10th rank chapter, taking only 2.5 years to carve it out. The 10th stage martial Tao chapter, in addition to the corresponding understanding of rules, many pillar-level fusion rules, its most core aspect lies in reshaping the physical soul, making it more perfect, closer to those special beings nurtured by the cosmos, thought Lin Yuan to himself. To achieve this, 2 things were necessary: Against Heaven's understanding and various structural diagrams of the physical souls of special beings, including different species. The 2 were indispensable. My physical soul now. As Lin Yuan carefully sensed it over during the creation of the 10th stage martial Tao chapter, his physical soul had also been evolving towards perfection. Only when the 10th rank chapter was perfectly carved out did Lin Yuan's physical soul transform to the ultimate extreme. At this moment, Lin Yuan's physical soul was mysterious, not inferior to those special beings with powerful talents. He might still not match up to the unique special beings, but the gap was not significant. The reason why special beings have such a low probability of reaching the ultimate is that they are innate powerful, lacking a weak period, and lacking that kind of relentless will. However, their physical souls definitely have something worth learning, Lin Yuan silently pondered. Now the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter draws from the strengths of those special beings. As for their weaknesses, which evolver from human civilization didn't grow from utter weakness to strength. There is no such thing as being innately powerful. Almost there. Lin Yuan repeatedly deliberated and thought over the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter and finally nodded in satisfaction. The 10th rank chapter now truly matched the version he had envisioned. Other evolution path 10th rank chapters emphasized understanding and enlightenment of rules. However, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path's 10th rank chapter returns to the physical soul, showing the path of evolution from the root. Goddess of Wisdom. Lin Yuan immediately connected to the Goddess of Wisdom. Respected scholar Lin Yuan, 8th level citizen, Goddess of Wisdom is pleased to serve you, intoned the Goddess of Wisdom in a grave and cool voice. I wish to upload the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter. Lin Yuan immediately uploaded the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter to the terminal of the Goddess of Wisdom. Virtual world. The Xianxia Supreme Being and several other Supreme Beings gathered once again. The Martial Tao 10th rank chapter? That youngster created the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter? The Xianxia Supreme Beings were briefly stunned, then promptly accepted it. Lin Yuan even comprehended the spatiotemporal fusion rule. Creating the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter wasn't so inconceivable. Let me have a look. The Void God Ultimate Being immediately started to peruse it. Nowadays, within human civilization, Lin Yuan's importance is second only to the 9 Supreme Beings. His 10th rank chapter was directly judged by the Supreme Beings. This 10th rank chapter? The Ancient Power Supreme Being was slightly taken aback. As the ultimate existence skilled in the rule of power and specializing in the physical body, the Ancient Power Supreme Being instantly recognized that the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter involved reshaping the physical body. Impressive indeed. How many special beings did this youngster dissect to have such a profound understanding of the physical body? The Ancient Power Supreme Being wondered more and more inconceivably as he read. High understanding of rules by Lin Yuan? He could somewhat force an explanation. After all, many rules pervade the cosmic starry sky, and to those peerless geniuses they are palpable. But the mysteries of the physical body? Especially the mysteries of the physical body in the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter, are all directed towards the Tao of the physical body, the location of the great Tao of the cosmos. Such profound understanding of the physical body should be beyond a youngster like Lin Yuan, right? And the soul? The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being said with a slightly grave expression. She also noticed the core thread of the 10th rank chapter, which fundamentally lies in the physical soul. Martial arts evolutionaries who practice up to the Martial Tao 10th rank, reaching perfection in the 10th rank layer, will have a much higher possibility of stepping into Tier 11 in the future. Even touching the ultimate offers a minuscule benefit, nodded the Xianxia Supreme Being. Do not underestimate the significance of a transcendent physical soul, especially when striving for the ultimate. A perfected physical soul might not provide great help, but it will at least not be a hindrance. Indeed, it is very good. The Void God Supreme Being nodded slightly, even he saw the rare and valuable aspect of the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter, returning to the physical soul, emphasizing the shaping of the foundation. This 10th rank chapter is worth at least 3 billion merit points. 3 billion merit points? That is somewhat low. I think it is worth at least 4 or 5 billion merit points. Let's say 5 billion? I feel like the exposition on the physical body in the 10th rank chapter could be applied to other evolution paths. The various Supreme Beings conversed with each other and finally rendered a 5 billion merit points valuation. Milky Way main star. As Lin Yuan waited, he once again immersed himself in the practice and enlightenment of the Tao. Just then, respected scholar Lin Yuan, 8th level citizen, your Martial Tao 10th rank chapter has been judged, began the solemn and cool voice of the Goddess of Wisdom. Judged already? Lin Yuan opened his eyes, slightly expectant. The final evaluation result values the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter at 50 billion merit points. The voice of the Goddess of Wisdom rang out. 50 billion merit points? A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. He remembered the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter was valued at only 2 billion merit points. Those 2 billion merit points even included the results of the bloodline cultivation system. But now, the 10th stage chapter is worth 50 billion straight away? Even though Lin Yuan used nearly 100 exotic treasures, 50 billion merit points was still a huge fortune for him. In the human civilization treasury, the exchange price for 12-star strange treasures starts at 1 billion merit points. 50 billion merit points could exchange for 50 of the lowest value 12-star strange treasures. right? What's the current ranking of the martial path evolutionary path now? Lin Yuan immediately began to check. After uploading the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter, the Martial Path Evolutionary Paths ranking was 42nd in the Southern Star region. Being 42nd in the Southern Star region, one of the 5 major star regions of human civilization, would roughly put it in the 300 to 400 rank range of the entire human civilization's evolutionary paths. The rankings of the Southern Star region's evolutionary path. First, Lin Yuan was somewhat surprised as he saw the final ranking. Even though he had anticipated a spike in ranking after uploading the 10th rank chapter, thanks to those 50 billion merit points being there, the higher the evaluation in merit points, it meant that the 3 goddesses and even the supreme beings saw great potential, signifying even greater potential. But Lin Yuan hadn't expected to soar straight to first place in the Southern Star region rankings. This was one of the 5 major star regions, not some star domain or star alliance. The evolutionary paths in the Southern Star region's rankings were primarily 11th rank evolutionary paths, and having the 9th rank Martial Tao evolutionary path at 42nd was already incredibly unbelievable. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths. Lin Yuan shifted his gaze to the ranking of the Martial Path evolutionary path amongst the evolutionary paths of human civilization. The rankings of human civilization's evolutionary paths consist of all evolutionary paths recorded by human civilization, including the rankings of all evolutionary paths as well as the 9 great supreme evolutionary paths. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths is the most prestigious. 10th place, Lin Yuan glanced up at the evolutionary paths now ranked ahead of the Martial Path evolutionary path. There were only 9. And these 9 evolutionary paths were all supreme evolutionary paths. Has the Martial Path evolutionary path become the strongest evolutionary path beneath the supreme evolutionary paths? Lin Yuan silently thought to himself. Of course, to say it's the strongest isn't quite accurate. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths is determined by many aspects, including potential, which holds significant weight. But regardless, the Martial Path evolutionary path has now become the most pinnacle of all the vast and numerous evolutionary paths recorded in human civilization. The rise in the ranking of the Martial Path evolutionary path swiftly caused a huge stir within the entirety of human civilization. After all, the Martial Path evolutionary path's latest ranking was 10th in human civilization, overwhelming a host of 11th rank peak evolutionary paths and taking the top spot on the Southern Star region leaderboard, shocking countless evolutionary and high-level citizens. Ranked 10th in human civilization's evolutionary paths? This Martial Path evolutionary path is too formidable. Just by uploading the 10th rank chapter, it surged from around 3 to 400th place to 10th? Haha, I told you guys the future of the Martial Path evolutionary path was immeasurable, but you wouldn't believe me. Countless evolvers began to discuss fervently, as there hadn't been an evolutionary path that reached the top of a major star region while only at the 10th rank since the beginning of the Starry Sea era. Indeed, the human civilization's evolutionary path rankings emphasize potential as one of the main criteria, but to become a Tier 11 evolutionary path doesn't low potential? Thunder Rain Star region. Lulan He, 1.5 meters tall, suddenly leaped up. I said the Martial Path evolutionary path was quite good. Lulan He was extremely excited. He can be considered a witness to the Martial Path evolutionary path. When the Martial Path evolutionary path was only at the 2nd layer, he took notice of it and began to cultivate it. He even defied his father's will for this. Father. Lulan He immediately began to contact his father. Little He. The ethereal figure of Lulan Yu appeared in front of him. Father, have you seen the latest ranking of the Martial Path evolutionary path? Lulan He said excitedly. I have seen it. Sir, the novel Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lulan Yu spoke gravely. The hottest topic inside human civilization at the moment was the Martial Path evolutionary path. Even the different species were aware of it. Your choice was very good. Lulan Yu looked at his son. Keep cultivating on the Martial Path evolutionary path. Because. Lulan Yu said this but did not continue. Because of what? Lulan He asked cheerfully. Because. Lulan Yu looked solemn, his tone tinged with emotion. This could very well be our human civilization's 10th supreme evolutionary path. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 776 9th Level Citizen, please subscribe. The current popularity of the martial path evolutionary path has even surpassed the 9 great supreme evolution paths, SAR the novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Several days later on the Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan casually glanced at the changes in the martial path evolutionary path after its update and was amazed. Since the Starry Sea era, the Supreme Evolution Path has always been the most popular evolutionary path in human civilization. It symbolizes the ultimate in a particular evolutionary road, coveted by countless evolvers. For the vast majority of evolvers, if they had a choice, they would definitely prioritize cultivating the Supreme Evolution Path. The only drawback of the Supreme Evolution Path is that its upper limit is locked at Tier 11 with no chance for an ultimate leap. But what of it? Tier 11 is already a goal too lofty for nearly all evolvers to even dream of. Compared to other evolution paths, every realm within the Supreme Evolution Path is extremely well developed and even perfect. In a battle between evolvers of the same rank under normal circumstances, if all other aspects of their abilities and foundations are equal, the one who cultivates the Supreme Evolution Path will be stronger by quite a few notches. Hence, the popularity of the 9 great Supreme Evolution Paths in human civilization is beyond doubt. However, Lin Yuan could clearly feel now that the frequency of discussions about the martial path evolutionary path on the virtual network has surpassed the 9 great Supreme Evolution Paths. This is not to say that the martial path evolutionary path has outstripped the Supreme Evolution Path. Rather, in more than 2 million years, no other evolutionary path has managed to reach a level just below the Supreme Evolution Path at the 10th rank. If 10th rank could already overwhelm Tier 11, what would happen when the martial path evolutionary path advances to Tier 11? As a result, countless evolvers in human civilization speculate that the martial path evolutionary path might possibly become human civilization's 10th Supreme Evolution Path. The 10th Supreme Evolution Path? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly as he had no certainty of crossing into the ultimate. Once failed, even with the protection of the door to the myriad realms, he didn't know if he would survive. The number of people practicing the martial path evolutionary path has started to surge dramatically in the past few days. Lin Yuan called up the specific data for the martial path evolutionary path and started watching it seriously. First tier chapter, 26 trillion. Second layer chapter, 832 billion. Third rank chapter, 4 billion. Fourth rank chapter, 120 billion. Fifth stage section, 53 million. Sixth rank chapter, 860,000. Seventh rank chapter, 17,000. Eighth layer part, 0. 800 years have passed, and not a single martial arts evolutionary has entered the 8th layer? Lin Yuan thought to himself. Compared to more than 100 years ago, the number of practitioners in the martial path evolutionary path's first tier chapter to the 4th rank chapter has increased by thousands to tens of thousands of times. The 5th stage section to the 7th rank chapter also increased by several hundred to 1,000-fold. But as for the 8th layer, at least for now, no 8th layer martial path evolutionary has registered their realm. Time is still too short. Lin Yuan shook his head inwardly. The martial path evolutionary path hasn't even been around for 500 years since it was uploaded. Even with enormous potential, it can't be converted immediately into a final number of high-rank evolvers. The evolution of life is a long process, even with a specific evolutionary path to guide it. It seems I still need to spend time creating more video analyses from the 7th rank peak to the 8th layer, Lin Yuan reflected thoughtfully. Although it isn't specified, the higher the number of high-rank evolvers in his evolution path, the better for his ultimate leap. After all, as the progenitor of the martial path evolutionary path, Lin Yuan doesn't have to worry about later martial path evolvers posing a threat to him. In fact, any martial path evolver, regardless of their realm or bloodline, would naturally be suppressed by Lin Yuan. In over 100 years, the revenue from the martial path evolutionary path has already exceeded 600 billion cubic universe crystals. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Hundreds of years ago, he was worried about a few thousand or tens of thousands of cubic universe crystals. Now, his net worth has skyrocketed to be calculated in billions of cubic universe crystals. But high revenues also mean substantial costs in cultivation. Lin Yuan thought to himself quietly. So far, his main expense in cultivation comes from one of the 3 Dao-protecting secret skills of the profound yellow lineage, the Xianhuang physique. Xianhuang physique itself was a method fleshed out by infinite resources, adding to that Lin Yuan's formidable physical foundation, the enhancement of the mysterious gourd, the boost from the eternal spring, the amplification of martial Dao, the infusion from the chaos void origin, and so on. As a result, Even a slight enhancement of Lin Yuan's physical strength requires tremendous sacrifices. And the enhancement of Xianxia physique to the body depends on its original strength, leading to the cost of cultivating this secret technique many times exceeding Lin Yuan's expectations. After all, when Lin Yuan first obtained this secret technique, he never anticipated that his physical foundation would be greatly enhanced again under the Chaos Void Origin infusion. I can vaguely sense those life forces cultivating the martial path evolutionary path, as if they're guided by some inexplicable force. Lin Yuan closed his eyes and focused intently. If one were to picture an expanse of darkness surrounding Lin Yuan at the center, then at this moment numerous points of light like fireflies began to emerge, each one seemingly feeble when seen alone. But in number they were vast, spreading out as far as the eye could see, like a wildfire spreading through the night. Could these all become the booster for my ultimate leap? Lin Yuan thought to himself. These sparks of light were not limited to the main universe. Some came from distant places too vague to ascertain. They were likely the life forces of martial Dao cultivators who had spread the martial arts to other dimensions during past travels. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 777 9th Level Citizen. Subscribe please. 2-inch spreading one's own evolution path, allowing more beings to cultivate, and ultimately nourishing oneself to propel the ultimate leap. Such means are nothing short of incredible. Lin Yuan thought to himself that this kind of nourishment was not the kind that came from the power of faith but rather from the path of evolution, basically without any hidden dangers. I wonder which powerful being created this cultivation method? An existence close to a perfect time being? Lin Yuan was quite curious. In the long-gone cosmic era, there was no talk of spreading one's own evolution path. If you wanted to make the ultimate leap, you essentially had to rely on yourself. Take Emperor Xianxia for example. He did not spread his evolution path widely because the threshold for the Xianxia evolutionary path was too high and not suitable for aimless dissemination. It's about time. It's time to advance to a 9th level citizen. Lin Yuan glanced at the balance of his own merit points, 5 billion and 200 million. Out of these, 50 billion merit points were the reward he received after uploading the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter. The remaining 2 billion plus merit points were what Lin Yuan had accumulated over time, including what was left from the last time he uploaded the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter. From an 8th level citizen to a 9th level citizen, 10 billion merit points are needed, equivalent to the value of 10 entry-level 12-star rare treasures. After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan chose to upgrade his citizen level. In the past, every time he advanced his citizen level, he gained far more than the value of the merit points spent on the advancement itself. The higher the citizen level, the more important it was not just the privileges but also the ability to influence some of the decisions of human civilization. Take Lin Yuan for instance. He was currently the chief speaker of the North Cold Star Alliance, the highest-ranking individual in hundreds, if not thousands, of star domains, and a single thought from him was enough to determine human civilization's policy towards the surrounding different species. The ordinary tribes within the North Cold Star Alliance, the weaker tribes, or even the other different species tribes nearby, all had to rely on Lin Yuan's influence. Goddess of Wisdom. I wish to now advance to a 9th level citizen. Lin Yuan immediately connected to the Goddess of Wisdom and made a request to upgrade his citizen level. In an instant, Lin Yuan's 5 billion and more merit points were reduced by 10 billion. Sar the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. At the same time, the citizen level section on Lin Yuan's personal information page quietly changed from 8th to 9th level. 9th level citizen. 9th level citizen of human civilization. This was a weight that not just any star domain, even a star alliance, could hardly bear. Even among the many 11th rank evolvers of human civilization, most were not 9th level citizens. Even for powerful 11th rank evolvers, accumulating 10 billion merit points would require a huge sacrifice. The ancient 10th rank evolver from the Xinyuan family, Xinyuan Fan, who had fought for 1 to 2 million years on the battlefields of different species, had only accumulated 20 million merit points at the end. To gain the opportunity to comprehend the mysteries of a black planet, he had to borrow 80 million merit points on behalf of his family from human civilization to make up a total of 1 billion merit points to complete the transaction with Lin Yuan. If someone ancient like Xinyuan Fan had to do this, 11th rank evolvers with more accumulated merit points would not be too far ahead. Moreover, Most evolvers cannot resist the temptation to spend some of their merit points during the accumulation process. Just like Xianyuan Fan, who, wanting to increase his chances of advancing to Tier 11, chose to spend the 20 million merit points he had saved up in advance. After all, merit points have too high a value in human civilization, able to exchange for many unimaginably valuable resources and heritages. It is only a very few, like Lin Yuan, who save up every merit point to upgrade their citizen level. Using merit points to advance citizen level is indeed the most valuable approach, but the greatest value does not mean the highest short-term return. Just after Lin Yuan smoothly advanced to a 9th level citizen, a flurry of emails from the central star field of human civilization were all sent over. These emails, aside from congratulating Lin Yuan, were introductions to the many privileges of a 9th level citizen. Privileges for a 9th level citizen. Lin Yuan browsed through the emails one by one. The first were the standard benefits. One would receive a 9th rank evolution elixir. Starting from a 6th level citizen, with each advancement in citizenship level, one would receive a corresponding evolution elixir. Even the lowest 6th rank evolution elixir, it's a specially allocated resource. Even if you have an abundance of cosmic crystals, you cannot buy it. Only merit points can be used to exchange for one, with a 6th rank evolution elixir requiring 10,000 merit points. A 7th rank evolution elixir requires 100,000 merit points. An 8th rank evolution elixir requires 1,000,000 merit points. A 9th rank evolution elixir requires 10 million merit points. Furthermore, to exchange for an evolution elixir, you also need to have the corresponding authorization. Lower level citizens, even if they accumulate enough merit points, cannot make the exchange. The right to participate in the Central Council of Human Civilization. Lin Yuan glanced at the second benefit. The Central Council of Human Civilization is a key meeting that touches on the future direction of the entirety of human civilization, where supreme beings will descend their consciousness to participate, and the 3 goddesses will pay close attention. To be able to participate in such meetings, you need at least a 9th level citizen status. Not interested. Lin Yuan had no interest in the council. Such a privilege might be invaluable to some citizens adept at maneuvering through politics, but to Lin Yuan, it seemed meaningless. 3 opportunities to immerse in the eternal spring? Lin Yuan's gaze lingered on a particular benefit. The eternal spring, one of the human civilization's 12-star rare treasures, allows any bather to safely extend their lifespan by several 100,000 years. Moreover, during the immersion in the eternal spring, one's physique will undergo slow transformation, improving the potential upper limits. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 778 9th Level Citizen, Seeking Subscriptions, _3 Once, a supreme being from a different species was willing to exchange an 11-star top-tier rare treasure for a chance to bathe in the eternal spring, to be used on their clan's younger generation. Human civilization did not agree. An 11-star top-tier rare treasure is worth tens of millions of merit points. It was indeed a very sincere offer. Human civilization refused, not because the 11-star top-tier rare treasure was insufficient, but because there were more considerations. Within human civilization, besides obtaining a chance to bathe upon ascending to 9th rank, if one wanted an additional bath, it would cost 5 million merit points per time. Search *the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Now, ascending to 9th level citizen, the 3 complementary opportunities to bathe in the eternal spring are equivalent to 15 million merit points. There's a chance to let both primordial spirits take a dip. Lin Yuan thought to himself that such opportunities to enhance the potential of the flesh were rare. There's also the privilege of enjoying the exchange discounts from the human civilization treasury. The discount for exchanging civilization coins and cosmic crystals is 60%. The discount for exchanging merit points is 90%. Lin Yuan was overjoyed. So-called civilization coins and cosmic crystal exchanges are the regular and strategic resource exchanges in the human civilization treasury. They can be obtained through civilization coins and cosmic crystals. When Lin Yuan was an 8th level citizen, he also enjoyed corresponding discounts, but at that time it was 80%. Now that he has ascended to a 9th level citizen, he directly benefits from a 60% exchange rate, a reduction of 20%. No one knows how many cosmic crystals it can help Lin Yuan save. As for the discount on exchanging merit points, Every merit point exchange in the human civilization treasury is a limited resource, even not open to outsiders. This includes many 12-star rare treasures, many special heritage sites, and places like the Black Planet that are useful for comprehending and amalgamating rules. Even though the discount on merit points exchange is only 10%, what is being saved is merit points, and the rare treasures that are exchanged are extremely rare in the entire cosmic starry sky. With a 10% discount, as long as I exchange for 100 billion merit points worth of rare treasures, I can make up for the merit points spent on my ascension to a 9th-level citizen in one stroke. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. This was the effect of elevating the level of citizenship. The short-term gain might not be the greatest, but looking at the long term, the benefits were sure to be extensive and profound. The privileges and advantages of ascending to a 9th-level citizen are countless, indeed numbering in the thousands. Lin Yuan briefly went through them, most of which were enhanced versions of those available to 8th-level citizens, and the remaining new privileges were equally helpful to him. At the very least, it could save him from many troublesome periods. Merit points needed to ascend to 10th-level citizen. After looking through many privileges, Lin Yuan looked towards the conditions for ascending to a 10th-level citizen. 50 billion merit points? Lin Yuan's mouth twitched slightly. Such a massive amount of merit points, even if he converted all the strange objects from the two-dimensional world, it would still be far from enough. Now, aside from the 9 supreme beings in human civilization, there probably aren't many citizens who are 10th level or higher, right? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Even for an 11th rank evolver, amassing 50 billion merit points was nearly an impossible feat unless one could slaughter their way through a large alien battlefield. It wasn't even worth considering. And slaughter through a large alien battlefield? Even for the 4 divine kings at their peak, it was hard to achieve, as supreme beings could enter the fray at any moment. And even if supreme beings didn't intervene, the 11th rank peak powerhouses from the peak clans were not so easy to deal with. With supreme weapons in hand, if you can't overcome one, you would have to face 5 or 10. In such circumstances, who could withstand that? Nowadays, the 10th level citizens of human civilization are mostly 11th rank evolvers from universities, or those human citizens who have made significant contributions during the long dormant years before the Starry Sea era. Purchase resources and continue cultivating the Xianxia physique. Lin Yuan opened the human civilization treasury and began selecting his choices. The Xianxia physique is one of the 3 great Tao-protecting secret skills of the profound yellow lineage, divided into 4 levels: entry, minor achievement, major achievement, and perfection. Of course, these 4 levels are aimed at each rank. When at 9th rank, cultivating the Xianxia physique to the level of perfection, and then advancing to 10th rank, when the level of life significantly leaps ahead, the Xianxia physique will fall to major achievement or even minor achievement. Theoretically, if a 12th rank ultimate being can cultivate the Xianxia physique to perfection at their rank stage, they can easily survive the great cosmic destruction. To know if a cosmos enters a period of great destruction, and all things collapse, even a supreme being could survive only half or even less. Only supreme beings who have lived through the cosmic great destruction can be considered truly free. Lin Yuan has already cultivated the Xianxia physique to major achievement, just one step away from perfection. Given Lin Yuan's foundational physical strength, a 10th rank level Xianxia physique perfected, his physique is already powerful enough to suppress rules, and just with his physical body he could rival the second-tier 11th rank. It's about time. After selecting for a while, Lin Yuan spent about 200 billion cubic universe crystals, and after the 60% privilege of a 9th level citizen, he only paid out 120 billion cubic universe crystals. He directly saved 80 billion cubic universe crystals. The cost is really high. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. It's not actually that the Xianxia physique is expensive. Indeed, the Xianxia physique demands high resources, but the cost of cultivating the Xianxia physique at only the 10th rank level, however high it may be, is finite. Mainly because Lin Yuan's foundational physique is too strong, leading to a very high starting point, with the Xianxia physique enhancing the physical strength tenfold. If the initial physical strength of a normal 10th rank life is 10, a tenfold increase would be 100. With an initial physical strength of 100, a tenfold increase would be 1000. The resources spent on both are naturally different, and Lin Yuan's initial physical strength is far more than 100, perhaps 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Therefore, the resources needed to cultivate the Xianxia physique to the perfection level are naturally millions or even millions of times the normal amount. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 779 Dual Realm of Time-Space Fusion Rules. Subscribe please. The transfer of resources valued at 200 billion cubic universe crystals to Lin Yuan was not a matter of moments. It required mobilization from various major star domains, and considering the vast expanse of the human civilization territory, even continuous wormhole shuttle would take a considerable amount of time. However, Lin Yuan was not in a hurry. The cultivation of body of Xianhuang could be done gradually. Currently, Lin Yuan did not feel the pressing need to cultivate body of Xianhuang to perfection. Virtual world. Lin Yuan was having a casual conversation with his parents. Have you been finding more free time recently? Lu Qiong looked at Lin Yuan and couldn't help but say, you should take seriously what I told you. Lin Yi has great-grandchildren now and here you are, still single. More than 100 years ago, Lin Yi married Xia Karen from the Xia family of humans. In the second year of their marriage they had children and now even had great-grandchildren. The reproductive speed of humans was indubitable. If it weren't for the Xia family's strict management of their descendants, they could easily have multiplied to 7 or 8 generations within 100 years. No rush. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Reproducing offspring is to place one's hopes on the next generations. But Lin Yuan? His hopes and goals didn't need to be entrusted to descendants. He could accomplish them himself. Still not in a hurry? Lu Qiong sighed. They were now evolvers who could easily live for thousands to tens of thousands of years, but this matter had nothing to do with how long one lived. Son, at least have some children and keep us company. Lu Shouqing also spoke, your mom and I are too bored now, having grandchildren would help pass the time. I'll consider it. Lin Yuan nodded. Reproducing offspring does not necessarily require a partner. With the current level of human civilization's technology, external reproduction is completely feasible. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. In front of him floated a luminous orb, endless insights on the spatio-temporal fusion rules continuously flooding into his mind. Time-space, so this is time-space? Lin Yuan was immersed in comprehension, forgetting the passage of time. Indeed, even if the spatio-temporal fusion rule insights of the myriad tribes' powerhouses were placed before him, most beings would find it tough to fully grasp them. However, Lin Yuan, with his against heaven's understanding, absorbed and comprehended these insights at an astoundingly rapid pace. This was also why the half-meter-tall old man was shocked when Lin Yuan had just started and immediately grasped the spatio-temporal fusion rules. Spatio-temporal fusion rules. Dual realm. Lin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes, his aura transforming. Time-space fusion vaguely formed a spatial-temporal maze around him. Now, with Lin Yuan's understanding of the spatio-temporal fusion rules, other powerhouses who got close would be trapped in the spatial-temporal maze, unable to escape. The spatial-temporal maze was much more terrifying than a mere time prison. 3 years, I finally elevated the spatio-temporal fusion rules to the dual realm. A smile emerged on Lin Yuan's face. Originally, he had spent decades and still failed to comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rules. Now, with the help of the luminous orb in front of him, his speed of comprehension was incredibly fast. The inner world is also becoming more stable. After reaching the dual realm of the spatio-temporal fusion rules, Lin Yuan faintly felt subtle changes in his inner world. These 3 years, apart from elevating the spatio-temporal fusion rules to the dual realm, the 10 fusion rules on the Black Planet have also been successively elevated to the 4th realm. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The reason for such swift comprehension was still due to the insights from the myriad tribes' powerhouses. The 12 pillar-level fusion rules on the Black Planet, combined with the insights from the myriad tribes' powerhouses, naturally enabled quick comprehension. Black Planet. The man in the black robe silently watched Lin Yuan's incarnation walking out from the last guiding space, the emotions surfacing in his heart growing rapidly. Originally, he thought that Lin Yuan advancing a realm every 50 years in the fusion rules was incredibly unbelievable, but in the last 2 to 3 years, the speed of Lin Yuan's insights had increased dramatically. Is he still a being from this universe? The final fusion rule has now been elevated to the 4th realm, so this Black Planet is no longer very effective for me, Lin Yuan noted, standing outside the guiding space while taking a deep breath, thinking to himself. It's a pity that among the 12 pillar-level fusion rules, there is no spatio-temporal fusion rule. Otherwise it would have been much more beneficial to me, Lin Yuan felt somewhat regretful. But then again he deemed it only natural. The spatio-temporal fusion rule, even for a supreme being, represents a foundation, a cornerstone. To segment part of the spatiotemporal fusion rule insights and create a guiding space would be too costly for a supreme being. For other fusion rules, segmenting them out is just that. If necessary, they could simply be comprehended again. But the spatiotemporal fusion rule? Even if it could be comprehended again before it was recomprehended, it would greatly affect one's own strength. If there really is a spatiotemporal fusion rule guiding space on the Black Planet, then its value could skyrocket by hundreds or even thousands of times. Other evolvers from human civilization, if they want to enter the spatiotemporal fusion rule guiding space, would need to pay far more than 100 million merit points. We can lease out the remaining 11 guiding spaces. Lin Yuan thought to himself that the lease price for one guiding space was 100 million merit points, so 11 guiding spaces would amount to 1.1 billion, equivalent to a 9th-level citizen. And this was only the price for one lease. Once this batch of evolvers had finished their comprehension, it would be another new round of 1.2 billion merit points. At this moment, Lin Yuan also realized the true value of the Black Planet. It was an inexhaustible mine of gold and silver. Even as human civilization grew increasingly powerful and the number of 10th-rank evolvers increased, the price to enter and comprehend on the Black Planet could be raised even higher. Outside the Milky Way main star, Lin Yuan's purchase of resources valued at 200 billion cubic yuan had finally arrived. Galaxy Master. The one transferring these resources was a grade A 10th rank, showing respectful demeanor. Lin Yuan could sense that eyes of 11th rank evolvers were watching. 200 billion cubic universe crystals were enough to warrant the protection of an 11th rank evolver. The quantity is correct. Lin Yuan roughly counted them, then put them into his inner world. Star-Lord's Great Hall. After the 11th rank evolver had left, Lin Yuan's mind moved slightly, and his true form entered the Shenhuang secret realm through the Shenhuang seal. As for the Milky Way main star, it was overseen by the Taiyang divine spirit, deepest part of the Shenhuang secret realm. Lin Yuan's true form sat cross-legged. 10th rank body of Shenhuang at complete level. Shenhuang chi flowed within Lin Yuan's body, spreading the Shenhuang force field throughout his surroundings spanning thousands of miles. Start the breakthrough. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan began to operate the body of Shenhuang, absorbing the vast resources before him. Thunderous rumbles. The mighty energy was devoured into his body, and Lin Yuan's body underwent rapid changes, becoming denser, his blood and organs subtly circulating an immortal essence. The stronger the physical body, the greater its nourishment to the spirit and will, even significantly affecting the inner world. 9th rank, 10th rank, 11th rank evolvers, most of their foundation lies in the inner world, but in truth the physical body is key. Without a strong body, how can one sustain a vast inner world? The inner universes of supreme beings reach tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of light years. Do the bodies harboring such vast universes seem frail? The more Lin Yuan comprehended the changes in his body, the deeper his insights became, and that's why the 10th rank Martial Tao chapter, valued at 5 billion merit points, positioned the Martial Path evolutionary path close to the peak of the Supreme Evolution Path. This was because the essence of the 10th rank chapter returned to the physical and spiritual essence, which Lin Yuan had developed after comprehending the physical and spiritual essence of the myriad tribes' powerhouses. Xianxia the Oval Fire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Time slowly passed. After half a month, Lin Yuan's purchase of 200 billion cubic universe crystals worth of vast resources was almost completely depleted. At this moment, Lin Yuan had finally reached the complete level of the body of Shenhuang. 12th rank body of Shenhuang, at Shenhuang level, even among supreme beings, was considered extremely powerful. Otherwise it wouldn't dare claim it could withstand the great universe's cataclysm. Although Lin Yuan was only at the 10th rank, having cultivated the body of Shenhuang to completion, his 10th rank was naturally different from others. My current strength, if relying solely on physical strength, probably the second tier of 11th rank life, would be suppressed by me, Lin Yuan mused, examining his physical strength. Lin Yuan's physical body was incredibly strong, a strength manifesting not only in his physical vigor but in defense as well, being near perfect. Blood rebirth combined with the elemental body made him virtually invincible. At this moment, even if Lin Yuan stood without moving, second or even third tier 11th rank life probably couldn't harm him. Even if they could barely breach his defenses, Lin Yuan could quickly recover. Try it. Lin Yuan started to release the suppression of his physical body, and the terrifying power of his physical vigor and blood began to recklessly stir everything within the Shenhuang secret realm. Is the master in seclusion this time to cultivate the body of Shenhuang? On the other side of the Shenhuang secret realm, a six-armed silhouette stood there, feeling the huge fluctuations of qi and energy from Lin Yuan's seclusion spot, feeling somewhat trembled. Shouldn't the master be just at 10th rank? Why is his Shenhuang force field so terrifying? The six-armed silhouette found it hard to believe, as the spirit of the Shenhuang secret realm, it carried many memories of the former Shenhuang, and knew about the various stages of the body of Shenhuang. But now the commotion caused by Lin Yuan's cultivation was a bit too much. The 10th rank body of Shenhuang, at complete level, was almost no different from the 11th rank body of Shenhuang, at complete level. Following the current cultivation trend of the master, when he steps into the 11th rank and cultivates the body of Shenhuang to completion, wouldn't he approach the 12th rank's completion level of the body of Shenhuang? The six-armed silhouette felt its spirit trembling. Even nearing the 12th rank's completion level was incredibly unbelievable. If not standing shoulder to shoulder with ultimate entities, at least it could last dozens or even hundreds of moves in front of them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 780 Black Tower 6th Layer. Please subscribe. Is this the perfection of the Shenhuang physique at the 10th rank? At the deepest part of the Shenhuang secret realm, Lin Yuan tentatively tried his physical strength, his face showing delight. Only within the Shenhuang secret realm would he dare to do this. In the outside world, the terrifying power of his physical body could potentially impact entire star domains. Merely with pure physical strength, could he suppress a tier 11 life of the second category? What did that mean? In terms of pure physical strength, it was estimated that even the peak powerhouses of 11th rank could not do better. Now the only ones that could surpass Lin Yuan in physical strength were the 11th rank complete legendary lives. Now my understanding of rules is actually not as good as my physical body, Lin Yuan thought to himself. In fact, his understanding of rules was by no means low. By the 10th rank, he had reached the dual realm of time-space fusion rules, something no one could claim to be inferior throughout the cosmic eras. But compared to his physical body, it was still slightly lacking, especially after completing the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter and remodeling his physical body based on the structure of the myriad tribes' powerhouses, plus the other enhancements to his physical attributes. As a result, the strength of Lin Yuan's physical body far exceeded expectations. The perfection of the Shenhuang physique at the 10th rank alone cost hundreds of billions of cubic universe crystals. When reaching tier 11 to cultivate to tier 11 perfection, that price, Lin Yuan was not without preparation for the cultivation resources needed for the perfection of the Shenhuang physique at tier 11. The nearly 100 rare objects he obtained from the two-dimensional world, even if not completely filling the gap, would not fall short by much. But let it be known that Lin Yuan also possessed the Taiyang Divine Spirit and the Taiyin Primordial Spirit. We'll see when the time comes. Lin Yuan did not ponder any further. The enhancement the Shenhuang physique provided to himself was too significant. After reaching tier 11, he could always go to a large alien battlefield to slaughter and gather resources. Once Lin Yuan stepped into tier 11 with his current strength, he would be invincible within that tier, where even the 4 divine kings and the mother of the tree realm, such legendary beings, would have to step aside. If Lin Yuan wanted, it was entirely possible for him to slaughter through a large alien battlefield and thereby obtain a massive amount of cultivation resources. As for why not go to a large alien battlefield now? With Lin Yuan's current strength, he still could not ignore those 11th rank complete legendary lives wielding supreme weapons. But upon reaching tier 11, after undergoing another Chaos Void Origin infusion, he should be about there. Apart from the Shenhuang physique, I've nearly perfected the mysterious yellow strike in the 9 steps of spacetime. Lin Yuan raised his right hand, a trace of Shenhuang energy vibrating, making every strike he delivered reach 5 times the limit of his strength. The cost was a much greater expenditure of energy. But such consumption was nothing more than a drop in the ocean compared to the vast inner world of Lin Yuan. When the spatio-temporal fusion rule reaches the 5-layered realm or 6th realm, he'll be ready to step into tier 11. Lin Yuan thought to himself that with his current accumulation, he could strike at tier 11 at any time, ensuring a 100% success rate. However, doing it that way would mean that the spatio-temporal fusion rule level would not be sufficient, and his inner world would not be able to bear the highest level of Chaos Void Origin, which might not be cost-effective. For almost all life forms, they would never have the opportunity to undergo a Chaos Void Origin infusion in their lifetime. For a few life forms with astonishing talent, they get one chance, which is when they cultivate to the 11th rank peak and then strike for the ultimate realm. Lin Yuan, who had comprehended the rule of time at the 9th rank, only had 3 opportunities for Chaos Void origin infusions, so he naturally cherished them and aimed to maximize his gains. The spatio-temporal fusion rule. Lin Yuan allocated a fraction of his consciousness to continue comprehending the spatio-temporal fusion rules. The stronger the life force, the more tumultuous the waves would be in the river of time, which would lead to a deeper comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rules. Adding to that, the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension from the myriad tribes' powerhouses, Lin Yuan was improving his own spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension almost every second. Lin Yuan took a step and arrived above the Shenhuang secret realm. Spatio-temporal fusion? Lin Yuan carefully observed the Shenhuang secret realm. The deeper his comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rules became, the more he felt the incredible nature of the Shenhuang secret realm. The method that seamlessly integrated into countless spatial layers of the universe was beyond imagination. At least Lin Yuan was far from capable of achieving it now. Within the spacetime perception of the myriad tribes' powerhouses, those in the 5-layered realm of spacetime fusion rules were far from achieving it. Even beings reaching the 6th realm, 7th realm, or 8th realm of spacetime fusion rules amongst the supreme beings probably couldn't achieve it either. Lin Yuan stood above the Shenhuang secret realm, and a 6-armed silhouette appeared nearby, respectfully saying, "Congratulations, Master, on perfecting the Shenhuang physique." For Lin Yuan, cultivating the Shenhuang physique only required sufficient resources. But that was based on Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding. In fact, cultivating the Shenhuang physique still required high comprehension. It was just that compared to the other 2 Tao-protecting secret skills, it was not as heavily weighted. It's just the perfection at 10th rank. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly as he spoke. His strength had long surpassed the 10th rank. Just the 10th rank? The 6-armed silhouette laughed somewhat forcefully. If not for his memory of the numerous disciple legends in the profound yellow lineage, who exhausted infinite heart force and resources in cultivating the Shenhuang physique, he might have believed it. Sar the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. And Lin Yuan's perfection of the Shenhuang physique at the 10th rank was almost comparable to the 11th rank complete Shenhuang physique. What level has His Majesty Shenhuang reached in his comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rules? After carefully observing the Shenhuang secret realm for a while, Lin Yuan couldn't help but ask. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 781 The 6th Layer of the Black Tower. Please subscribe. _2-inch 9 realms. The 6-armed silhouette spoke directly. His Majesty has reached the 9 realms in his mastery of the spacetime rule, just 1 step away from comprehending the Great Tao of Spacetime. The Great Tao of Spacetime? Lin Yuan's expression became slightly somber. An 11th rank life trying to reach the ultimate, if successful, would break free from the shackles of the river of time and would soon comprehend the Great Tao that was closest to oneself. For example, the Space Great Tao, Life Great Tao, Death Great Tao, Void Realm Great Tao. Among the 9 supreme beings of human civilization, the Void God Supreme Being comprehended the Space Great Tao. The Great Tao towers above all rules and is the fundamental basis for a supreme being's enlightenment. Normally, supreme beings would transform a certain pillar rule into their own Great Tao. As for the pillar fusion rules and the spatio-temporal fusion rule, transforming them into a Great Tao requires at least a 12th-stage powerhouse who has survived through a cosmic era. Unfortunately, a single step's difference is like that between heaven and earth. The 6-armed silhouette shook its head. If His Majesty could master the Great Tao of spacetime, perhaps he would not have disappeared. Perhaps His Majesty Shenhuang has not died at all, Lin Yuan consoled. Since His Majesty Shenhuang's disappearance, with one cosmic era after another passing, the Shenhuang evolutionary path had not given birth to an ultimate being. The reason could well be related to the disappearance of His Majesty Shenhuang. Of course, whether an evolution path has an ultimate existence can be verified in other ways. Currently, the Shenhuang evolutionary path truly has no ultimate life standing at its end. But beings of His Majesty Shenhuang's caliber, who knows whether they might have ways to avoid this fact. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan's form appeared. You should also cultivate the Shenhuang physique to the 10th rank perfection. Lin Yuan glanced at the Taiyang divine spirit. The stronger the essence of life of the 2 primordial spirits, the more origin source they could bear when the chaos void origin infuses them in the future. The Taiyang divine spirit immediately entered the Shenhuang secret realm. Right when the true body entered the Shenhuang secret realm for cultivation, Lin Yuan had purchased another batch of resources for the Taiyang Divine Spirit to cultivate the Xian Huang physique. Having comprehended the spatio-temporal fusion rule for so long, it is time to visit the Demon Jade space and see if I can break through the 6th layer, Lin Yuan thought to himself. To pass the 5th layer of the Demon Jade space, one must thoroughly comprehend the rule of time, which Lin Yuan achieved as early as when he was 9th rank. However, the 6th layer requires the comprehension of the time-space fusion rule, and with Lin Yuan already in the dual realm of time-space fusion rules, he could certainly attempt it. I should also finalize the rewards for passing the 5th layer, Lin Yuan had already decided. The reward list for the 5th layer consisted of treasures or heritages of the 12-star level. Previously he had been unsure of what to choose, but now he had an idea. The next moment, a sliver of Lin Yuan's spirit will, following the magic jade mark, descended upon the Demon Jade space. The Demon Jade space is not located within the main universe but is in the chaos void. Lin Yuan observed his surroundings and felt differently. The Shenhuang secret realm relied on the main universe, so Lin Yuan could enter it in body with just a thought. The Demon Jade space, on the other hand, located God knows how far from the main universe, was a place Lin Yuan could at most arrive at with a single thought. Even so, the fact was quite astonishing. The prowess of the Moyu Tower Master in the aspect of Space Great Tao was absolutely beyond calculation. His Majesty Xian Huang, the demonic Jade Tower Master. Powerhouses from different epochs. Yet their outcomes were quite similar. Both disappeared suddenly. Before long Lin Yuan arrived in front of the imposing 9 floors dark tower. The stone statue Shinji had been waiting for a long time. The moment Lin Yuan descended into the Demon Jade space, he was aware of it. Have you reached the 10th rank? Stone statue Shinji scrutinized Lin Yuan carefully, feeling inexplicably sentimental. From when Lin Yuan was 7th rank and became an ordinary member of the Moyu Tower, to now being 10th rank. He had witnessed Lin Yuan's progress every step of the way. Watching as Lin Yuan broke many of the Moyu Tower's records. Are you planning to choose your rewards or? Stone statue Shinji looked at Lin Yuan and asked in a low voice. To date, Lin Yuan still had 2 opportunities to choose rewards, all held by him. One was from when he first passed the 2nd floor of the Dark Tower, and the other was the reward from passing the 5th floor of the Dark Tower. Besides choosing rewards, see Tich Novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lin Yuan's descent into the Demon Jade space could also mean he intends to continue challenging the tower. But now that Lin Yuan had already passed the 5th floor of the Dark Tower, if he were to continue, it would only be the 6th floor. The 6th floor of the Dark Tower requires at least the comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rule to pass, while the 7th floor is the realm of ultimate beings. Let's start with the 7th floor, Lin Yuan spoke. The matter of selecting rewards could wait. If possible, he intended to choose the rewards for the 5th and 6th floors together. The 7th floor? Stone statue Shinji fell into a brief silence. Based on his experience, Lin Yuan had not descended into the Demon Jade space for over 100 years. Now with his arrival he planned to challenge the 6th floor. The only possibility is that he has great confidence. Have you comprehended the time-space fusion rule? Stone statue Shinji couldn't help but ask. If he hadn't witnessed Lin Yuan creating many miracles and records, he would never have asked the question. Comprehending the time-space fusion rule at the 10th rank? Is that some kind of joke? Yet the stone statue was seriously inquiring. Because it was indeed possible for Lin Yuan to achieve it. Almost, Lin Yuan nodded. Really comprehended it? Stone statue Shinji's thoughts were complex. But he immediately believed it. Lin Yuan had no reason to lie. Go ahead then. Stone statue Shinji stepped aside and opened the 9 floors Dark Tower. Walala. Lin Yuan entered the Dark Tower. Stone statue Shinji watched quietly. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 782 Black Tower 6th Layer, Seeking Subscriptions, _3" with such talent and speed of cultivation, even when the master of the Moyu Tower had not reached his ultimate form, he was far inferior, Stone statue Shinji thought to himself. The Moyu Tower master, who was able to establish the Moyu Tower, was naturally a peerless genius of his times, breaking a series of records before even becoming ultimate. But to discern the spatio-temporal fusion rule at the 10th rank? Even a genius like the Moyu Tower master hadn't achieved that. Initially, the Moyu Tower master had comprehended the rule of time at the 10th rank, but as for understanding the spatio-temporal fusion rule, that occurred only after stepping into the 11th rank. Such a talented individual would be too great a loss if damaged while striving to reach his ultimate form. Stone statue Shinji showed a hint of hesitation on his face, and Lin Yuan was currently a core disciple of the Moyu Tower. Essentially family. If he could step into the 12th rank, perhaps he could preserve the legacy of the Moyu Tower. Enough. Stone statue Shinji made his decision. 6th layer of the Black Tower. Lin Yuan's figure appeared. A vast expanse of continuously merging time spaces. Lin Yuan recognized the key to passing the 6th layer at a glance. It was having a deep mastery of the spatio-temporal fusion rule, otherwise even if one walked for 100,000 or a million years, reaching the end would be impossible. I am now at the dual realm of the spatio-temporal fusion rules, drawing upon the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension of the myriad tribes powerhouses for reference, which brings my understanding on par with the 3rd realm. This was akin to an open book exam, where the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension of the myriad tribes powerhouses was the paper, and Lin Yuan could copy it even if he didn't understand it temporarily. Time passed. Soon half a day had gone by. Lin Yuan stopped at the last step before the end. Spatio-temporal fusion, so this is how it is. Lin Yuan looked thoughtful as he slowly took the final step and arrived at the endpoint of the Black Tower's 6th layer. Your comprehension is exceptional, observing the mingling of time and space, enhancing your grasp on the spatio-temporal fusion rule. Having passed through the 6th layer of the Black Tower, Lin Yuan had a deeper understanding of the spatio-temporal fusion rule, further enhanced by the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension of the myriad tribes powerhouses. Now, Lin Yuan had again improved in his mastery of the spatio-temporal fusion rule, not far from the peak of the dual realm. Congratulations, you've passed the 6th layer. Stone statue Shinji had long been waiting at the endpoint. His gaze towards Lin Yuan was unavoidably complicated, knowing well that Lin Yuan wouldn't have attempted the 6th layer without being sure of it. But actually witnessing a 10th rank life past the 6th layer was still profoundly shocking. Even during the prime times of the Moyu Tower, a 10th rank life passing the 6th layer of the Black Tower? It was absolutely unprecedented and extremely rare. Not to mention he did pass it. Why not try the 7th layer? Stone statue Shinji asked. No need, Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. He found the 6th layer quite challenging, let alone attempting the 7th layer. As for advancing his understanding through tackling the 7th layer, when the levels were too disparate it became very hard to do. The difference between the 6th and 7th layers of the Black Tower was a qualitative leap, and forcibly attempting to comprehend was less advantageous than observing the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension of the myriad tribes powerhouses. All right. Stone statue Shinji nodded. Now you have 3 opportunities to select a reward from me, corresponding to the rewards of the 2nd layer, 5th layer, and 6th layer. Which one would you like to choose? Stone statue Shinji asked. Let's start with the 2nd layer reward. Lin Yuan said, mentioning the 2nd layer reward, but it was actually from the 3rd layer reward vault. When Lin Yuan had passed the 2nd layer of the Black Tower, his performance was so exceptional that he directly qualified for the rewards from the 3rd layer reward vault. Choose one from these rewards. Search * the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Stone statue Shinji waved his right hand, and a virtual light screen emerged, displaying various treasures and rare items. Lin Yuan carefully looked for a while. The opportunity to select the 2nd layer reward was because Lin Yuan couldn't find a suitable reward at that time, which is why he postponed this opportunity. This one. Lin Yuan chose the source of metallicity. This rare treasure has significant effects on nurturing weapons. If Lin Yuan's origin clock is nurtured with the source of metallicity, its growth rate will significantly increase. In the classification of numerous treasures and rare items by human civilization, the source of metallicity ranks as a 12-star, and it's a top-tier 12-star, belonging to the same category as the World Tree. No problem. Stone statue Shinji waved his hand again, and a burst of golden radiance appeared, suspended in front of Lin Yuan. Is this the source of metallicity? Lin Yuan looked it over for a while, took the golden radiance, and then turned his attention to the 5th layer reward list. Have you thought about which reward to choose from these? Stone statue Shinji, showing interest, looked at Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan had previously seen the 5th layer reward list and had hesitated. He knew this. I've thought about it. Lin Yuan nodded. I'll take this one. This one? Stone statue Shinji showed a hint of surprise on his face. On the 5th layer reward list, there were ultimate weapons for both offense and defense, as well as a few heritage secret techniques. Stone Statue originally thought Lin Yuan would choose an ultimate defensive weapon, but instead, Heritage Milky Way. Lin Yuan turned towards the Heritage secret techniques, his gaze slightly fervent. If it had been before his fall into that two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan indeed would have hesitated over the fifth layer reward list. He wanted both the Heritage secret techniques and the ultimate weapons. But now, having journeyed through the two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan had acquired nearly 100 rare items, the least of which were ultimate weapons. Of course, even among ultimate weapons, there are levels of superiority and inferiority, and the ultimate weapons on the fifth layer reward list are somewhat better than those rare items. However, for beings below the ultimate level, unless the ultimate weapons are particularly suitable for them, there is basically no difference in this regard. Because even the lowest tier ultimate weapons cannot unleash their full potential by an 11th rank powerhouse, so they are pretty much the same. This is the bearer of the secret technique Milky Way. The six-armed silhouette waved his right hand, and a circular crystal appeared, landing in Lin Yuan's hand. Once you return, just connect with it through your consciousness, Stone Statue Xianxia briefly said. Okay. Lin Yuan nodded. Next is the sixth layer reward list. Stone Statue Xianxia's gaze carried a hint of a different shade. The virtual light screen changed rapidly, displaying a new reward list. These. Lin Yuan glanced over, his expression subtly changing. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 783 Information from Other Dimensions. Please subscribe. What Lin Yuan saw in the 6th level reward list actually belonged to the treasures and rare items from the 7th level and even some from the 8th level reward vault. After all, the rewards ultimately obtained for passing each level of the Black Tower were contingent on one's performance during the challenge. As a 10th rank life form, Lin Yuan's performance in passing the 6th level was undoubtedly top tier, even vastly surpassing the highest standard of performance. Therefore, reflected on the reward list, the level of reward he could choose from was raised by several tiers. The various rewards Lin Yuan had chosen earlier were also of this nature, which is why items like the World Tree and the Source of Metal Essence, both 11-star rarities, appeared on the 2nd level reward list. 3 rewards. There were only 3 items on the reward list in front of Lin Yuan. They were Infinity World, Cosmic Demise, Heart of Spacetime. Lin Yuan hadn't heard of these 3 rewards, but he had a vague sense that they were incomparably precious, with few equivalents even in the human civilization treasury. Senior Xianxia, what are these 3 treasures? Lin Yuan quietly inquired. The infinite world originated from the time when the Tower Master was pursuing the traces of the perfect time being. He discovered a broken world that is suspected to have once been visited by the perfect time being. Stone Statue Xianxia smiled at Lin Yuan and said, however, this is just the Tower Master's speculation. Even if it wasn't visited by a perfect time being, it was left by a powerhouse very close to the perfect temporal life. The Tower Master has studied this infinite world for a long time with little gain. Perfect time being? Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn. According to Xianxia, the infinite world was at least related to a powerhouse nearly equivalent to the perfect time being. So far, Lin Yuan had only come into contact with one such entity. That was the creator of the two-dimensional world. What about Cosmic Demise? Lin Yuan asked again. Cosmic Demise. Stone Statue Xianxia pondered for a while, then continued, you should know that the cosmos will come to ruin. Yes. Lin Yuan nodded. The cosmos goes from birth to destruction through an unimaginable expanse of long years, a cycle known as a cosmic era. The destruction of the cosmos, the collapse of rules and the great Tao, it is a disaster for every 12th rank life in the cosmos, with half or even most of them dying. Cosmic Demise is actually a set of replicated imprints that record the whole process of a cosmos beginning of destruction to complete annihilation. Stone Statue Xianxia paused for a moment before continuing, the ruin of the cosmos is a disaster, but also an opportunity. If one can carefully experience the process of the collapse of myriad rules and great Taos, it can greatly enhance one's understanding of rules. CTH Fire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. I see. Lin Yuan nodded, immediately realizing the value of this record of Cosmic Demise. To replicate the complete event of Cosmic Demise, one must be a 12th rank life in the cosmos. Yet facing the grand destruction of the cosmos, all 12th rank lives that have not survived a cosmic era are extremely cautious and careful. How could they spare the effort to replicate this scene? And to replicate, one must survive the entire round of cosmic destruction, which is essentially a death wish. Lastly, the Heart of Space-Time. Stone statue Xinji looked at Lin Yuan. Once fused with the Heart of Space-Time, any being below the 12th rank can extend their time of liberation from the River of Time. Extending the time of liberation from the River of Time? Lin Yuan took a deep breath. He immediately realized the greatest use of the Heart of Space-Time. It was to attempt the ultimate. For an 11th rank life to attempt the ultimate, they need to take the ultimate leap, to propel all of themselves out of the River of Time and make a major transcendence of their life essence above the River of Time. During this period, the time in 11th rank life remains above the River of Time is very limited. If they could extend this duration, it would definitely enhance the probability of achieving the ultimate. An 11th rank powerhouse attempting the ultimate leaps out of the River of Time, which is a completely different concept from Lin Yuan being taken out of the River of Time by the Xianxia Supreme Being. When an 11th rank life attempts the ultimate, leaping out of the River of Time will be resisted and suppressed by the entire River of Time. For the River of Time itself, an 11th rank life attempting the ultimate is akin to a fish in its own river striving to break free forever. Naturally, it will do everything to prevent it. Whereas Xianxia Supreme Being taking Lin Yuan out of the River of Time was only temporary, so even if it causes backlash from the River of Time, it won't be too severe. 3 treasures, which do you choose? Stone statue Xinji looked at Lin Yuan and spoke. Heart of Space-Time, Lin Yuan said without hesitation. The origins of Infinity World are immeasurable, at least connected to a great entity close to the perfect temporal life. But if Lin Yuan does not achieve the ultimate, the Infinity World, no matter how mystical, would be meaningless. As for cosmic demise? It might be significant and effective for a supreme being, but for Lin Yuan, it was slightly beyond what he needed. In simple terms, both Infinity World and cosmic demise were indeed precious, but the most immediate challenge Lin Yuan needed to overcome was attempting the ultimate. Without achieving the ultimate, both would be like flowers in a mirror or the moon reflected on the water. Therefore, choosing the Heart of Space-Time, Lin Yuan had no hesitation. Extending the time spent above the River of Space-Time. Lin Yuan had never even heard of such a method before. The treasures and rare items currently possessed by human civilization to increase the probability of achieving the ultimate, such as the source of the universe, mainly worked on enhancing the foundation of the one attempting the ultimate, which is entirely a different type from the effects of the Heart of Space-Time. For example, if attaining the ultimate is likened to an examination, then the source of the universe's effect would be akin to the examinee furiously studying before the exam to increase the chances of scoring high. Whereas the Heart of Space-Time would be akin to directly lowering the difficulty of the paper, achieving the effect of a high score. While the goal is the same, the principles are utterly different. Okay. Stone statue Xinji nodded. At the same time, a crystal that looked like a heart appeared before Lin Yuan. The crystal was colorless and transparent, and Lin Yuan could vaguely sense that it was slowly beating. I should head back now, said Lin Yuan as he put away the Heart of Space-Time and promptly took his leave. Stone statue Xinji nodded, watching Lin Yuan disappear on the spot. The Heart of Space-Time. Stone statue Xinji fell silent. In truth, such a rare treasure as the Heart of Space-Time was not a possession from the reward treasuries of the 6th, 7th, or even 8th layer. It originated from the core heritage treasury of Moyu Tower, a treasure that only the direct disciples of Moyu Tower, those on the verge of making the ultimate breakthrough, were qualified to enjoy. By all accounts, Lin Yuan was only a core member of Moyu Tower. He shouldn't even be eligible to know about such rare treasures, let alone acquire the Heart of Space-Time. But Moyu Tower today was no longer the Moyu Tower of the past. Stone statue Xinji was well aware that if they still adhered to the strict requirements for such rare treasures as the Heart of Space-Time, they'd probably decay without ever being used. Direct disciples of Moyu Tower? One needed to be personally scrutinized by the Moyu Tower Master to have a chance to become one. But now, the Moyu Tower Master had been missing for countless years, effectively eliminating the possibility of producing a direct disciple. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan's spirit will return, bringing back 3 treasures and rare gems. I've really struck it rich this time. Lin Yuan felt exhilarated. He had anticipated the origin source of metal and the secret skill Milky Way previously. But the Heart of Space-Time. Lin Yuan had never imagined he could obtain such a rare treasure. The Heart of Space-Time. With a thought from Lin Yuan, the heart-shaped crystal appeared before him, beating slowly, emitting an indescribable aura. Place it in the Shenhuang secret realm. With a thought, Lin Yuan's true body entered the deepest part of the Shenhuang secret realm and solemnly placed the Heart of Space-Time within it. The Shenhuang secret realm was, to Lin Yuan's knowledge, the safest place, where even supreme beings could not enter. It was not an exaggeration to call it absolutely secure. A moment later, Lin Yuan's mind gradually calmed down. Although the effects of the heart of spacetime were heaven-defying, capable of directly reducing the difficulty of making the ultimate breakthrough, if his own foundation was insufficient, he would still fail to break through to the ultimate. At least, stone statue Shinji never said that integrating the heart of spacetime would lead to a 100% success rate in becoming the ultimate. There was no such method in the entire chaos void. I still need to deepen my own foundation. Lin Yuan collected his thoughts and took out the ball of golden light. That was the origin source of metal. Following that, a bell-shaped weapon appeared, emanating wisps of suppressive force. It was Lin Yuan's origin clock that he had been nurturing up to now. Merge. Lin Yuan infused the origin source of metal into the origin clock. Rumble rumble. Having devoured the origin source of metal, the origin clock immediately began to transform, its aura retracting, rapidly reaching the 10th rank summit, and in the blink of an eye, it pushed into tier 11, still swiftly climbing. I estimate that after completely absorbing the origin source of metal, it will become an 11th rank peak weapon. By then, once I step into tier 11 with the compatibility of the origin clock and myself, it will be no worse than any ordinary supreme weapon. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even if the origin clock reached the 11th rank peak, it would still be far inferior to a supreme weapon. But other 11th rank evolvers also couldn't bring out the full prowess of supreme weapons. Unless the supreme weapon contained a contingency from a supreme being, the potency of the origin clock would not be inferior to that of other 11th rank powerhouses wielding supreme weapons. Lin Yuan also placed the origin clock in the Shenhuang secret realm, allowing it to transform slowly. Lin Yuan then returned to the Milky Way main star. The secret skill Milky Way. Lin Yuan immediately took out the crystal stone, which held the secret skill Milky Way. After a pause, Lin Yuan immediately sent a sliver of his spirit will into the crystal, beginning to receive the vast messages of the secret skill Milky Way. Wonderful. Upon comprehension, Lin Yuan was overjoyed. Compared to the 3 Tao-protecting secret skills of the profound yellow lineage, Milky Way was more comprehensive, containing the mysteries of spacetime, mainly covering the essence of spacetime fusion rules from the 6-fold realm to the 9th realm. Lin Yuan chose this secret skill, also to prepare for when his own spacetime fusion rules reached the 6-fold realm. As Lin Yuan immersed himself in comprehending the secret skill Milky Way, a surge from the depths of his mind woke him. Lin Yuan's consciousness quickly sank into the depths of his mind, looking towards the majestic and grand door to the myriad realms. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 784 Heaven, Earth, Humans, Ghosts, Gods all worship martial ancestor. Subscription requested. What's going on? Lin Yuan stared at the towering door to the myriad realms. He immediately realized that the fluctuation did not come from the door to the myriad realms. Instead, it was transmitted from the many worlds connected to the door to the myriad realms. The door to the myriad realms was merely a transfer point, just a medium. Which world did it come from? Lin Yuan looked towards the bottom of the door to the myriad realms, where 10 world coordinates were sequentially engraved. They represented the 9 worlds Lin Yuan had previously traveled through and the immortal realm, which he had not yet descended into. Tianqing World? Lin Yuan's gaze landed on the world mark of Tianqing World. The source of the disturbance was indeed Tianqing World. Before Lin Yuan descended into Tianqing World, that place was facing an invasion by a foreign evil god. At that time, Lin Yuan took control of a branch of the ancestral demon tree, the foreign evil god, and ultimately replaced the ancestral demon tree, replacing the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World. He became the absolute dominion of that world. Lin Yuan had a significant impression of Tianqing World. Because the so-called Tianqing World is but a small world within the boundless void. Beyond Tianqing World lays the playground of the evil gods. Unfortunately, Lin Yuan was short on time after replacing the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World, and his stay was nearly up. He couldn't continue to explore the boundless void beyond the world. However, because of becoming the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World and leveraging the body of the ancestral demon tree left behind, he could, through the door to the myriad realms, barely communicate between the 2 worlds. Even if he didn't descend to Tianqing World, he could still transmit messages through the ancestral demon tree and roughly get some information about Tianqing World. When he had just returned from Tianqing World, Lin Yuan was quite interested in it and often inquired about the development of Tianqing world. But as time went on, he let it go, only receiving the ancestral demon tree's regular reports, every so often and not paying much attention. But now, the body of the ancestral demon tree in Tianqing world had taken the initiative to send messages to Lin Yuan. In the contingencies Lin Yuan had left behind, only in an extremely urgent situation would this happen. Lin Yuan's consciousness immediately began to follow the coordinates of Tianqing world, receiving messages from the ancestral demon tree. Another invasion by a foreign evil god. Lin Yuan looked thoughtful, contemplating the ratio of the time flow speed between Tianqing world and the main universe. It was 600 to 1. 600 years had passed in Tianqing world. Only 1 year had passed in the main universe. And it had been about 300 years since Lin Yuan ended his traversal of Tianqing world. That is to say, nearly 200,000 years had already passed there. Could it be those two foreign evil gods invading Tianqing world? Lin Yuan thought to himself quietly. After replacing the ancestral demon tree, he had also inherited its network. At that time, beyond Tianqing world, besides the ancestral demon tree, there were also two ancient foreign evil gods lurking. These two foreign evil gods behind likely had even more powerful foreign evil gods standing with them. After Lin Yuan became the heavenly Tao of Tianqing world, he had some interactions with those two foreign evil gods and vaguely realized that they seemed to harbor ill intentions toward him. Because they had more than once invited him to explore a certain secret realm in the boundless void. But Lin Yuan had flatly refused them since he didn't have much time left and only wanted to peacefully secure Tianqing world. As for the opportunity of the secret realm in the foreign boundless void, the risk was too great and did not align with the goals Lin Yuan had set. Moreover, Lin Yuan also kept his guard up against those two foreign evil gods, understanding that the relationship between evil gods was almost equivalent to having no relationship at all. If it were within their power, those two foreign evil gods would not hesitate to devour Lin Yuan. Search * the novel, F.I.R. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. After hundreds of thousands of years, why suddenly think of invading Tianqing world? Lin Yuan was slightly curious. Evil gods invade worlds but also look at the situation. Tianqing world had the ancestral demon tree as its stronghold. It had many contingencies left by Lin Yuan. Those two foreign evil gods would have to pay a harsh price to conquer Tianqing world, where the cost completely outweighed the gain. Moreover, just with those two foreign evil gods, the chances were high that they couldn't take down Tianqing world. Now that the ancestral demon tree was reaching out to him, they probably used a higher level of tactics. And such tactics, being extremely precious, were simply not worth using to invade Tianqing world. It must be that some changes have occurred in Tianqing world over these hundreds of thousands of years. Or perhaps some changes in the boundless void prompted those two foreign evil gods to forcefully invade. Lin Yuan thought to himself. What should I do now? Lin Yuan stroked his chin. The ancestral demon tree had sent a distress signal, clearly stating that the situation in Tianqing world had become extremely dire. It had far surpassed the time when Lin Yuan had originally descended, and the power of those two foreign evil gods had already penetrated into Tianqing world. Under such circumstances, if Lin Yuan did nothing, the entire Tianqing world would change hands. Very well. I shall descend once more. Lin Yuan had made up his mind. To Lin Yuan, Tianqing world still held many unknown secrets and many terrifying and powerful evil gods that ravaged world after world. The upper limit of Tianqing world was not high, but beyond it, the mysterious boundless void had a much higher ceiling. According to Lin Yuan's estimation, the entire boundless void, even if not comparable to the immortal realm, was not far off, where the strongest evil god might reach the 11th rank peak. This time, Lin Yuan's redescent to Tianqing world took in three considerations. Firstly, Tianqing world was literally his backyard, where the martial path evolutionary path was supreme, the most populous world among the many Lin Yuan had traversed with martial Dao cultivators. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 785 Heaven, Earth, Humans, Ghosts, Gods all worship martial ancestor, seeking subscriptions. _2 After hundreds of thousands of years of development, the martial Dao cultivation system in the Tianqing world had become the only one, which was an achievement other worlds could not replicate. In other traversing worlds, Lin Yuan still needed to consider the impact of the world's consciousness, but in Tianqing world, Lin Yuan himself was the world consciousness. Within the Tianqing world, the number of martial Dao cultivators was incalculable. All of these would become the support for Lin Yuan's ultimate leap in the future, and he could not just give them up easily. The second reason was to explore the secrets of the mysterious, boundless void beyond the Tianqing world. When Lin Yuan had left the Tianqing world, he had been only at the 7th rank, incapable of exploring the more vast and expansive boundless void. But now Lin Yuan was already at the 10th rank, and moreover he was a heaven-defying 10th rank comparable to the peak of Tier 11. Starting from the 4th layer of Tier 11 including the 5th layer, all could be considered the peak of Tier 11. As for the 6th tier, that was the perfection of Tier 11. With Lin Yuan's current strength throughout the entire boundless void, not to say he was the strongest, but he was likely not far off, which was just the right time to descend and see, while also taking advantage of the different flow rates of time between the two worlds to quickly comprehend the 5-layered realm of spacetime fusion rules. As for the last aspect to consider, the cost-effectiveness was just too high. Having the identity of the heavenly Tao of the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan connecting the two worlds, if he chose to descend again, the cost of the world-breaking origin force would be only 1/3 of a strand. That's right. Not 3 strands. Nor 1 strand. But 1/3 of a strand. You know, if Lin Yuan chose to traverse again now, except for the Immortal realm, he would probably only be able to custom traverse. Lin Yuan's level of strength was too powerful. In the myriad realms of the heavens and the endless dimensional planes, there were few worlds that could provide Lin Yuan with aid. If he chose random traversal, he estimated that even after hundreds or thousands of times, it would be meaningless. And then there was the Tianqing world, although not as supreme as the Immortal realm, but it was cheap, wasn't it? With 1/3 of a strand of world-breaking origin force, what other requirements could there be? And those foreign evil gods, wielding numerous talents and authoritative powers, involved many mysterious rules. Last time in the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan could only study the ancestral demon tree. Lacking in numbers, this time it was just right to capture more foreign evil gods for study, which might help enhance his own cultivation. That is the boundless void different from the main universe and even the dimension where chaos void exists. The differences between dimensions, even those beings approaching perfect time beings, find it difficult to make contact. The low-dimensional space in that piece of white paper is the product of a being close to a perfect time being exploring the lower dimensional worlds. Lin Yuan, with the aid of the door to the myriad realms, can research at will and naturally must seize this opportunity. Having decided to descend to the Tianqing world again, Lin Yuan made some preparations. Traversing through worlds, Lin Yuan's consciousness would leave along the door to the myriad realms, and by that time his physical body would be akin to an empty shell. Of course, with the door to the myriad realms maintained, even if Lin Yuan's consciousness was in other dimensional worlds, he could sense the situations around his true spiritual body and could completely stop the traversal and forcefully return at any necessary moment. Almost there. A moment later, Lin Yuan's consciousness came before the door to the myriad realms again. Actually, there wasn't much to prepare, as the 12 guiding spaces of the Black Planet, Lin Yuan had already completely comprehended, and the incarnation placed there had long returned. So even if the spirit will left, it wouldn't delay anything. The few effects that remain concern the incarnation situated in the Xiaoyu Evolution Tower, currently comprehending the cosmic aurora. But Lin Yuan had just told Xiaqin Supreme Being because of reasons related to cultivation, he needed to withdraw all incarnations. Inside each incarnation there was a strand of spirit will of the corresponding powerhouse, and withdrawing this strand of spirit will for the sake of ensuring one's own condition, is quite common among human civilizations evolvers. As for the myriad tribes' powerhouses' comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rules and other 5 light orbs, to be strict, these 5 light orbs are also considered items. As long as Lin Yuan is willing to pay the world-breaking origin force, he can freely bring them into the Tianqing world. Now Lin Yuan's accumulated world-breaking origin force was already close to 1,000 strands, which qualifies as financially robust, able to afford bringing those 5 light orbs into the Tianqing world. This time the stay will again be 600 years. If all goes well, once the traversal ends, a year will have passed in the main world. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, silently thinking. Almost there. Sar the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Let's begin. Lin Yuan looked towards the majestic and grand door to the myriad realms and immediately chose to traverse. Due to the difference in the flow rate of time, every second in the main universe translates into 600 times the time flow rate in the Tianqing world. And given the current situation in the Tianqing world, already breached by those 2 foreign evil gods, any further delay would have an even greater impact on the entire world. The next instant, all of Lin Yuan's spirit will surged into the door to the myriad realms. This spirit will included his true body as well as the two primordial spirits. Fortunately, Lin Yuan had already placed the two primordial spirits in safe locations, so no issues would arise. Tianqing World. Upon the vast lands, endless evil god puppets wreaked havoc, and a terrifying crack appeared in the sky dome, with a multitude of evil god puppets rapidly pouring in. Beyond that terrifying crack, faintly stood two towering figures, sinister and evil aura pervaded, their blood-red eyes staring into the world. The beings of the Tianqing world, having to resist the invasion of the evil gods, were forced to come to the central part of the world, under the world tree that supported the heavens and the earth. Protected by the power of the world tree, as the heaven-reaching vine branches gently swayed, billions upon billions of evil god puppets were annihilated. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 786 Heaven, Earth, Man, Ghosts and Gods, all worship martial ancestor, subscription requested. _3 Without the world tree the entire Tianqing world would have probably been breached long ago. Where would the resistance come from? Outside the world. Two colossal foreign evil gods gazed intently. The Pavilion Master's methods are indeed unfathomable, just one strike, and he tore apart the barrier of this world. The foreign evil god on the left sent out mental fluctuations, faintly brimming with astonishment. Without the Pavilion Master's methods, the two of them, as foreign evil gods, would not even talk about invading the Tianqing world. They wouldn't be able to approach it and would be repelled by the ancestral demon tree. It was precisely with the Pavilion Master's methods that they managed to severely injure the ancestral demon tree and tear apart the world barrier, successfully invading. It's a pity that even after heavily injuring the ancestral demon tree, the adversary still has the strength to resist our soul talent pressure. Otherwise, all creatures within this entire world would have fallen into the nightmare world we created. The foreign evil god on the right shook its head, somewhat regretfully. That demon tree, after tens of thousands of years, its strength has become so formidable? Even the Pavilion Master's methods couldn't annihilate it? The foreign evil god on the left was equally surprised. They knew how fearsome the Pavilion Master was. Over 100,000 years ago, he had conquered a certain secret realm and greatly increased his strength, far surpassing that of ordinary evil gods like themselves. It's just that it doesn't mean much. Under the Pavilion Master's methods, it's already severely injured. If it weren't for our reluctance to sustain damage, we could have invaded the world by now. The foreign evil god on the right spoke. With the ancestral demon tree heavily injured, they had the power to invade, but they felt that they would be harmed by the frenzied ancestral demon tree, which was why they did not continue. After all, the world barrier had already been torn. The rest was merely a matter of time. They just needed to continue to slowly erode the last bit of the ancestral demon tree's strength, and then they could take the Tianqing world unharmed. The world tree supported the heavens and earth, with countless martial Dao cultivators hiding in its trunk, resisting the soul talent suppression from the foreign evil gods. After tens of thousands of years of development, and under Lin Yuan's secret guidance in the Tianqing world, martial Dao was revered above all. As for the world tree, it was nothing more than a backup plan left by the great martial ancestor. And the martial ancestor was the origin of martial cultivation in the Tianqing world. Without the martial ancestor, the Tianqing world would have been destroyed long before in a previous evil god invasion. Therefore, for all beings in the Tianqing world, and for the countless martial Dao cultivators, there was only one belief in their hearts. That was the martial ancestor. As for the world tree, sheltering the Tianqing world for tens of thousands of years, it too was a contingency left by the martial ancestor. At the very top of the world tree where the canopy resides, it was like a vast continent, where countless martial Dao cultivators lived, and this place was also the Tianqing world's last barrier. Even if the mortal lands were occupied by the evil gods, as long as the canopy continent was not lost, the beings of the Tianqing world still had a chance, a hope. In the central-most part of the canopy, a temple stood erect. This place was the martial hall, and also the place where the golden body of the martial ancestor was enshrined, considered the sacred realm for all creatures of the Tianqing world. No one in the Tianqing world had seen the martial ancestor, but the myth of the martial ancestor was present everywhere, and every once in a while, the high priest of the martial hall would lead the beings to worship the martial ancestor. To be precise, in Tianqing world, it is not just all living beings who worship the martial ancestor, but also all things and even the whole world itself. During each sacrificial ceremony, the heavens and the earth roar. Inside the martial hall, priests moved about, and the many martial Dao cultivators on the Canopy continent, who had suffered the ravages of the evil god puppets on the human lands, were also extremely anxious. Sar the Novelier. N.T. website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. They had even held several martial ancestor worship ceremonies in succession, hoping to seek the help of the martial ancestor to repel the foreign evil god and save the living beings of Tianqing world. But so far it had not been of much use. The evil god puppets were still rampaging. However, the living beings had not begun to doubt their faith in the martial ancestor. In the deepest part of the martial hall, a statue of a majestic man was enshrined there. This was the golden body of the martial ancestor, acquired through the world tree's knowledge about the martial ancestor's partial true form and stature. In fact, this golden body of the martial ancestor was none other than what Lin Yuan had commanded the ancestral demon tree to create, spending over 100,000 years using the entire Tianqing world as the mother body, pouring in an untold amount of origin power, and ultimately nurturing the strongest physique. The purpose was to prepare for Lin Yuan's consciousness descent. This way Lin Yuan was spared a great deal of time starting from scratch. With 100,000 years spent by the ancestral demon tree, drawing upon the infinite origin power of Tianqing world, the physique it nurtured started at the 8th layer. After being nurtured with worship for over 100,000 more years, it had already approached or even reached the 9th rank. This means, as soon as Lin Yuan descends again into the Tianqing world, he can directly inhabit this body, equivalent to those innately powerful special beings of the main universe. Moreover, this golden body of the martial ancestor was nurtured from the essence of martial Tao gathered by Lin Yuan, extremely harmonious with martial Tao. Once the consciousness descent occurs, the time to return to his peak period will be very short. Only by completely mastering a world could Lin Yuan so lavishly plan and execute such a strategy. Otherwise, in other worlds he would not have the conditions to do so. Setting other matters aside, such a physique, gathering the essence of heaven and earth, far surpasses any rare treasures, and would have long been coveted or even seized by those powerful beings. But in Tianqing world, protected by the ancestral demon tree, this golden body of the martial ancestor was able to be successfully nurtured until today. And it became the source of faith for all the beings of Tianqing world. Inside the martial hall, countless people started to worship the martial ancestor anew. Incense smoke filled the air, and countless faithful knelt towards the golden body of the martial ancestor in the deepest part, and a supreme aura enshrouded them, faintly discernible. May the martial ancestor take pity on the living beings, descend with mighty power, and repel the evil god. The high priest, a woman, knelt reverently and prayed to the golden body of the martial ancestor. At the same time, the branches of the world tree swayed, an inexplicable aura emerged, and the worship from the heavens and the earth followed closely. This world, heaven, earth, humans, ghosts and gods, all worshiped the martial ancestor. Just at this moment, a strand of wool cut through dimensions and descended into the martial ancestor golden body. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 787 The Descent of Martial Ancestor. Please subscribe. Consciousness began to awaken. Lin Yuan gradually took ownership of the martial ancestor golden body. Back to the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan extended a sliver of psychic power into the demon tree. The ancestral demon tree's injuries are so severe? With just preliminary perception, Lin Yuan noticed that the injuries of the ancestral demon tree had already affected its roots. Otherwise, it wouldn't have used terms like life and death in its plea for help to describe the situation in Tianqing world. But it doesn't matter much, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even while nurturing the martial ancestor golden body, the ancestral demon tree had already become less important to Lin Yuan. As soon as the martial ancestor golden body took shape, it reached the 8th layer, surpassing the peak period of the ancestral demon tree. After more than 100,000 years of nurturing, it had already half-stepped into the 9th rank. In simple terms, as long as Lin Yuan had half an hour to smoothly take over the martial ancestor golden body, directly he would possess the basic 9th rank combat power, plus a high degree of intuition for the laws and mastery over the use of power. He could even sweep through 10th rank life. In a desperate battle, pulling out all the stops could unleash tier 11 combat power. In this realm, the martial ancestor golden body, after being nurtured for hundreds of thousands of years, had an unfathomably profound foundation. Especially with Lin Yuan, the ancestor of martial arts, taking charge, every ounce of power could be fully unleashed. Together, their combined effect far exceeded the sum of their parts. Lin Yuan's mind merged with the ancestral demon tree, beginning to receive detailed information from the past several 100,000 years. Even though Lin Yuan could receive messages from the ancestral demon tree while he was in the main universe, thanks to the connection between them, the information was incredibly simplified, with many major events from those hundreds of thousands of years often described in just one sentence. After all, they were separated by different dimensions, and even with the door to the myriad realms acting as a transfer point, it was extremely difficult to convey messages, so the more simplified, the better. Lin Yuan was unaware of many details. Sar the Oval Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. No wonder the Tianqing world has attracted the attention and even invasion of those two foreign evil gods. No, it's not the idea of those two foreign evil gods, but their pavilion master behind them. Lin Yuan's thought process was incredibly fast. It took him only a dozen breaths to understand everything that had happened over several 100,000 years, clear as day. Especially the tactics used by those two foreign evil gods at the end to severely injure the ancestral demon tree and tear open the barriers of the Tianqing world, certainly came from an even more powerful foreign evil god. According to the intelligence Lin Yuan had in the boundless void near Tianqing world, the most powerful foreign evil god had established a force called Black Demon Pavilion, declared itself the Black Demon Pavilion's master, and ruled over a large number of foreign evil gods. Of course, in the more distant boundless void, other powerful foreign evil gods existed, establishing their own forces or gathering places and dominating certain regions. Over the past several 100,000 years, Tianqing world's origin source has strengthened at least tenfold under my influence. Lin Yuan, through the perspective of the ancestral demon tree, looked toward the vast origin source of Tianqing world. After replacing the heavenly Tao of Tianqing world, Lin Yuan began to deliberately manipulate it, making the flow of Tianqing world's origin source more perfect and complete. Late after the shuttle ended and he returned to the main universe, Lin Yuan still had the ancestral demon tree adjust the flow of the entire Tianqing world's origin source. With his incredibly fast comprehension, Lin Yuan observed the operation of the main universe, then applied it to the Tianqing world, making the Tianqing world move closer to the main universe. How vast is the main universe? Its scale, let alone Tianqing world, even the boundless void cannot compare, and the efficiency of the main universe's origin source operation naturally far surpasses that of the Tianqing world. The Tianqing world imitating the main universe's origin source operation might not show results in the short term, but over tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, the difference becomes evident. As a result, the origin source of today's Tianqing world is 10 times that of several 100,000 years ago. This still assumes Lin Yuan, in order to nurture the martial ancestor golden body, hadn't expended the world's origin source so drastically. Otherwise, the difference might have been dozens of times or nearly 100 times greater. Such changes in Tianqing world inevitably drew the attention of other foreign evil gods in the vicinity. The original Tianqing world, with its weak origin source and the protection of the ancestral demon tree, those foreign evil gods might have had ideas but would not act because the effort wasn't worth the potential loss, requiring a brutal battle even if they were to prevail. But Tianqing world, with an origin source strengthened more than tenfold, was different. The key issue, however, might be the Black Demon Pavilion's master wanting to figure out why, in just a few 100,000 years, Tianqing world had undergone such changes. If it could master this transformation, wouldn't the efficiency of devouring the origin source of other worlds greatly increase? This was also the key reason why Tianqing world was invaded. If it were just the Tianqing world as it originally was, it would not have attracted the attention of the Black Demon Pavilion's master. Although it has been invaded, there haven't been many casualties amongst the beings of this world. Lin Yuan, borrowing the viewpoint of the ancestral demon tree and incarnating as the heavenly Tao, observed every little detail of this realm. Mainly, it was because the ancestral demon tree had issued orders in time for the beings of Tianqing world to gather around it. By using the power of the demon tree itself for protection, they managed to preserve the vast majority of Tianqing world's power. Of course, as time passed and the two foreign evil gods kept infiltrating, the ancestral demon tree's injuries grew heavier. It was foreseeable that the damage to the beings of Tianqing world would start to skyrocket. The sacrifice has ended? Lin Yuan cast his gaze towards the Great Hall, where countless believers respectfully rose. An inexplicable resonance of heavenly and earthly aura subtly flowed into the golden body. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 788 Martial Ancestor descends to the mortal world. Subscribe please. _2 The influx of cosmic breath was indeed the origin power of the Tianqing world. For hundreds of thousands of years, each ritual involved the martial ancestor golden body absorbing the world's origin power, making its foundation unbelievably solid. In just under half a stick of incense time, I will have complete control over this physical body. Lin Yuan intimately felt the profound mysteries of the martial ancestor golden body, the strongest flesh he cultivated for himself, and was naturally extremely satisfied. Actually, with Lin Yuan's control abilities he could control this physical body now, but doing so would cause some negligible flaws, which were altogether unnecessary. The humans in the Tianqing world were indeed being ravaged by the powers of those two foreign evil gods, but it had not yet reached a fundamental level. Lin Yuan could afford to wait a bit longer. Inside the martial hall, a large number of believers and martial Dao cultivators gradually left. In the end, only the great priest of martial hall remained. The great priest, named Qingyao, was the descendant of the first-generation leader of the Tianqing alliance from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Having served the Tianqing alliance leader Lin Yuan for countless years, his descendants were naturally esteemed and became the highest-ranking high priest in the Tianqing world today. Martial Ancestor, Sarch * The Oval Fire. @ website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Qingyao looked up at the towering golden body of the martial ancestor with a slightly anxious gaze. If those two foreign evil gods continue like this, within a year 70% of the Tianqing world's human lands will be completely overrun, and then the entire world will be thoroughly corrupted. As the high priest, whose soul was bound to the ancestral demon tree, Qingyao could vaguely sense the precarious situation faced by the entire Tianqing world. Therefore we must completely resist the power of those two foreign evil gods before then. Qingyao had already made up her mind. I will sacrifice the flesh and souls of half of the life in this realm to help Sacred Tree recover, and then with the power of Sacred Tree, we still have a chance to hold off those two evil god temples. Qingyou's expression gradually calmed down. To sacrifice the flesh and souls of half of the life in this realm, she, as the officiant of the ritual, would certainly not survive and would turn into nourishment for the Sacred Tree along with countless other beings. But as long as it could protect the Tianqing world, even the greatest sacrifice was worth it. Outside the Tianqing world, in the boundless void, two massive foreign evil gods stood in front of a huge fissure in the world's barrier, scrutinizing everything inside. Demon Tree brother, you just need to hand over this world and proactively disclose why the origin source of this world has grown so rapidly. I will speak well of you in front of our pavilion master. Perhaps you could become a trusted retainer. The foreign evil god on the left emitted terrifying mental fluctuations, trying to communicate with the ancestral demon tree. Since the invasion began they had often done this, aiming to subdue without a fight, but it had hardly been effective. Moments later, the foreign evil god on the left looked displeased. Previously, whenever it asked, the ancestral demon tree would at least reply a few words, even if just to stall for time. But now the ancestral demon tree wasn't paying it any attention. Arrogant even in this dire state, the foreign evil god on the right was also somewhat dissatisfied. They believed they held an overwhelming advantage and thought that if not for the reluctance to pay the price, they could have already conquered the Tianqing world and captured the demon tree. Forget it. No need to stall anymore. Let our true bodies enter directly. The foreign evil god on the left was already growing impatient. After a period of testing and attrition, it believed that even if the demon tree still had some resistance, it wouldn't amount to much. At this moment, should the two evil gods force their way in even under the demon tree's counterattack, they would likely not suffer much damage. Rustle, rustle, rustle. The next moment, within the Tianqing world, under the protection domain of the ancestral demon tree, innumerable beings were terrified to discover that the horrifying crack spanning across the sky had suddenly torn open even further. A massive foreign evil god, covered in numerous tentacles, was slowly squeezing through. The entire Tianqing world trembled faintly as this massive evil god entered, with the edges of the land directly fracturing. The rushing sound of water. On the other side, a similarly abyss-like crack tore open, and an eye the size of 1,000,000 miles squeezed through, surrounded by wings and emitting a swiftly spreading, sinister and strange aura. Canopy Continent. Inside the martial hall, the high priest Qingyou's expression drastically changed. This is bad. Qingyao suddenly stood up, and although she didn't see it with her own eyes, she could feel two massive and horrifying presences rapidly invading the entire Tianqing world. We can't delay any longer. We need to make a sacrifice of half of the beings to the sacred tree right now. Qingyao immediately began issuing orders, with martial Dao cultivators appearing outside the martial hall, ready to be sacrificed at any moment to heal the sacred tree's injuries. They had long been prepared for this, willing to be sacrificed if it could save the Tianqing world. Martial Ancestor, I hope the Martial Ancestor blesses us and everything goes smoothly. Before Qingyao left the martial hall to formally preside over the sacrifice, she subconsciously wanted to glance at the Martial Ancestor golden body she had admired until now. Although sacrificing half of the world's beings could heal the sacred tree's injuries, it was still uncertain whether it could stop those two foreign evil gods. After all, the sacred tree had been severely damaged by unknown means by those two evil gods at the height of its power, ripping apart the Tianqing world as well. However, High Priest Qingyao was shocked when she turned her head back. Because the Martial Ancestor golden body, which had stood unmoved in the deepest part of the martial hall for tens of thousands of years, had now disappeared. Where is the Martial Ancestor? High Priest Qingyao was struck as if by lightning, for the Martial Ancestor was not only her faith but also the faith of all beings in the Tianqing world. The disappearance of the Martial Ancestor golden body was akin to the sky falling for her. High Priest Qingyao staggered backward several steps, about to exit the martial hall to investigate who had approached the martial hall during this time, but she froze in place. Because at the entrance of the martial hall, stood a tall man unknown when he appeared. The tall man with his hands behind his back, turned his back to Qingyao. There's no need to sacrifice half the beings, Lin Yuan said, glancing at High Priest Qingyao and speaking indifferently. High Priest Qingyao had contacted the ancestral demon tree, intending to sacrifice half the beings to heal the demon tree's injuries, and Lin Yuan was naturally well aware of this. And Lin Yuan naturally did not want to sacrifice half the beings of the Tianqing world. How many martial Dao cultivators would that be? Martial Ancestor. Upon hearing these words, High Priest Qingyao trembled, tears moistening her eyes immediately. Martial Ancestor. The Martial Ancestor, worshipped by the beings of the Tianqing world for hundreds of thousands of years, had finally returned. Lin Yuan, still facing away from High Priest Qingyao, took a step, stepping out of the martial hall. Above the earth, numerous rampaging evil god puppets were annihilated instantly, crushed by a terrifying power that reduced them to nothingness. The remnants of their origin source were absorbed by the Tianqing world. The two massive, terrifying barrier cracks spanning across the sky, within which the two overjoyed foreign evil gods wished to squeeze into this world, seemed to sense something. They looked up towards the canopy continent, their expressions showing a trace of fear, not even thinking before they began to retreat, their massive bodies colliding with the cracks in a desperate manner. Martial Ancestor left the martial hall and descended to the mortal realm. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 789 Divine Might, subscribe please. Above the vast firmament. Two immensely huge foreign evil gods, with half their bodies already squeezing into Tianqing world. At this moment, their hearts trembled slightly. As evil gods who fed on worlds, their senses were exceptionally sharp. But now they sensed a dire threat of impending disaster. It was for this reason that they retreated without hesitation. Even though half of their feet had entered the world, forcibly exiting would cause them to collide directly with the world's barrier. Resulting in minor injuries, they hesitated not at all. That demon tree, it actually had such a terrifying ace up its sleeve? Both foreign evil gods found it unbelievable. Even though they had not identified the exact nature of the threat, they knew without question that it came from within Tianqing world, and had something to do with the ancestral demon tree. This even more perplexed the two foreign evil gods. If the ancestral demon tree had such a trump card, why didn't it use it earlier? Sar the Novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Why wait until now when Tianqing world's barrier itself had been torn apart? Deep within the boundless void. Several foreign evil gods too were paying attention to the invaded Tianqing world. In just a few 100,000 years, the origin source of Tianqing world had surged tenfold, naturally inciting the envy of many foreign evil gods. Unfortunately, Tianqing world had already caught the eye of the Black Demon Pavilion's master. The Black Demon Pavilion master, more than 100,000 years ago in a void secret realm, had gained a crucial opportunity. His power surged dramatically. He had already become the most powerful evil god in this region. Since the Black Demon Pavilion master had set his sights on Tianqing world, these evil gods, despite their envy, dared not interfere. Who knows what secrets are within that world? That demon, ignoring the commands of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, stubbornly guards inside the world. Now look what happened. The numerous foreign evil gods felt somewhat schadenfreude, watching from afar, especially seeing the two evil gods guarding outside the world, already unwilling to wait for their true bodies to descend. It seemed like they had foreseen the demon tree's fate. However, it was not long before some foreign evil gods sensed something amiss. How come Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream are escaping? Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream were under the command of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, assigned to conquer Tianqing World. Initially, when many evil gods saw Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream planning to descend their true bodies into the world, they thought the situation was settled. But now the evil gods saw Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream, who were frantically squeezing into the world, retreating desperately as if facing some primordial ferocious beast. Interesting, what has changed? Does that demon tree have any other cards up its sleeve? Indeed, to allow a world's origin source to surge tenfold, there must be some secret. The numerous foreign evil gods immediately speculated the reason. Most of them were frenzied, yet not foolish, possessing normal reasoning ability. Watch. Right, let's just watch. The foreign evil gods didn't care. They feared the Black Demon Pavilion Master but were pleased to see Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream falter. After all, it wasn't their concern. If the invasion encountered unexpected variables, the numerous foreign evil gods were just onlookers. Within Tianqing World, Lin Yuan's figure hovered in the air. Where his gaze reached, endless evil god puppets turned to ash and smoke. These evil god puppets were transformations of the evil god's power. Evil gods could devour a world, but likewise the world could also devour evil gods. However, unlike the evil gods with their independent consciousness, the world's consciousness could not resist directly. It could only indirectly counter them through the form of children of the world or children of fortune. But now, under Lin Yuan's control, all the powers left behind after the annihilation of the evil god puppets were devoured by the world's origin source. This body, Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly, the body he now inhabited was nourished and condensed by the infinite origin source of Tianqing World. Not only was it incredibly profound, but it could also mobilize all forces within the world. Thinking of leaving? Lin Yuan glanced at the two foreign evil gods, struggling to push themselves out, his thoughts stirring slightly. The world's power of Tianqing World transformed into sharp spatial blades, slashing directly towards them. Not good. The one to bear the brunt was Myriad Tentacle Stream. It had been the first to push into the world, and most of its body was already inside. Being severed in half would mean only a smaller portion could escape. Though such an injury was not fatal for a foreign evil god, it was unknown how long it would take to recover. Please, Pavilion Master, lend your aid. Myriad Tentacle Stream didn't hesitate to pull out a statue. A creature with 18 arms, which even as just a statue, emitted an aura that could drive countless beings into madness and oblivion. This was the last resort trump card given by the Black Demon Pavilion Master, usable only 3 times. Having already used it once during the initial assault on Tianqing World, only 2 chances remained. Given the character of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, once given he would not take it back. Meaning, if they could take over Tianqing World with minimal cost, this statue would belong to them. According to Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream's plan, they would activate the statue only once at most, saving the remaining 2 uses for crucial moments in the future. But now, Myriad Tentacle Stream was vaguely sensing tremendous fear, naturally not daring to hold back. Is that the Black Demon Pavilion Master's doing? Lin Yuan, having fully received the ancestral demon tree's memories, naturally recognized it. It was relying on this statue that the 2 foreign evil gods had severely injured the ancestral demon tree, even tearing apart Tianqing World's barrier, thereby plundering the lands of Tianqing World. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 790 Divine Might. Please subscribe. _2" Not too bad. He has strength close to the 10th stage martial Tao. Through that statue, Lin Yuan roughly understood the Black Demon Pavilion Master's strength. You should know that tens of thousands of years ago, during the heyday of the ancestral demon tree, its strength was only at the 7th rank, yet the Pavilion Master possessed power close to the 10th rank. No wonder he could strike awe into the collective evil gods. But for Lin Yuan now, this was naturally far from enough. In terms of life level, Lin Yuan was also at the 9th stage peak. However, Lin Yuan's 9th stage peak was not the same as a normal 9th stage peak. In critical moments he could even burst forth with the power of Tier 11. Moreover, what Lin Yuan faced now was not the true body of the Black Demon Pavilion's master, but a statue formed from the condensation of power. In front of Myriad Tentacle Stream, the statue emanated a black fog. The black fog was endless, quickly enveloping an area of hundreds of thousands of miles. Standing firm in the void, Lin Yuan, in comparison to the two colossal foreign evil gods, seemed like an insignificant speck of dust, but as he raised his right hand, his index finger pointed lightly. The endless black mist spread by the terrifying statue rapidly thinned and dissipated, even the statue itself shook, its surface showing cracks rapidly spreading, before ultimately crashing down. Without the protection of the statue, Myriad Tentacle Stream was exposed once again. What? The statue of power bestowed by the Pavilion Master was directly shattered? I still had one more chance to activate it? Myriad Tentacle Stream couldn't believe it. The Black Demon Pavilion Master's strength was unquestionable, and a statue containing his power should have been more than capable of sweeping through many foreign evil gods. But now the statue that had pinned its hopes on turned out to be as fragile as thin paper. With a thought from Lin Yuan, space subtly undulated, and the statue appeared in his hand. If it weren't for him holding back, that strike could have shattered the statue. However, Lin Yuan wanted to use the statue to glimpse into the Black Demon Pavilion Master. It wasn't that he placed much importance on the Pavilion Master. Rather, abilities and talents held by such level foreign evil gods, as well as their inherent essence, piqued Lin Yuan's curiosity. And with his understanding of the causality and fusion rules, he could easily lock onto the exact location of the Black Demon Pavilion Master through the statue. Whether it was Magic Eye or Myriad Tentacle Stream, both were acting under the orders of the Black Demon Pavilion Master to invade Tianqing world, and Lin Yuan would not let the mastermind behind the scenes go unpunished. Rustle. Pocketing the statue, Lin Yuan looked towards Myriad Tentacle Stream, who was still rooted to the spot, and pointed out once more. Rustle. Without the statue's protection, Myriad Tentacle Stream was utterly defenseless against the might of Lin Yuan's pointed finger. In an instant, 90% of Myriad Tentacle Stream's body vaporized, as the terrifying force continued, suppressing the most core part. How are you so strong? Myriad Tentacle Stream trembled internally. With just a raise of his hand, it had completely lost its ability to resist. This kind of power, even the Black Demon Pavilion Master couldn't be much stronger, could he? Even in Myriad Tentacle Stream's view, if compared to Lin Yuan at this moment, even the powerful Pavilion Master might seem inferior. But how could that be? Xianxia the Fire. At website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The Black Demon Pavilion Master, an entity that could bring forth life with a word, one who isn't born but devours many worlds, even foreign evil gods, to establish his fame? But before Myriad Tentacle Stream could respond, its core was suppressed, its consciousness quickly slipping into slumber, before ultimately falling into Lin Yuan's hands. Is this the core of that evil god? Lin Yuan looked at the clump of fog before him, inspecting it closely. I'll study it later. Lin Yuan immediately packed away the fog. He didn't kill Myriad Tentacle Stream as he wanted to thoroughly study this foreign evil god. In the past, Lin Yuan didn't have the strength to rival the ancestral demon tree without great effort. Now, having returned to the boundless void, he surely wouldn't miss the opportunity. In the main universe, Lin Yuan studied the physical structures and soul essences of the myriad clans' powerhouses, particularly those unique lives and their talents. Under a multitude of conditions, it enabled Lin Yuan to create the most complete 10-stage martial Tao chapter. In the boundless void, those foreign evil gods that fed on worlds were, to Lin Yuan, no worse than those unique creatures of the main universe. These foreign evil gods possessed all sorts of bizarre abilities, which could be greatly beneficial to Lin Yuan's understanding of this part of the boundless void. This return had two goals for Lin Yuan. One was to grasp as many conventional fusion rules as possible, especially the 5-layered realm of spacetime fusion rules. The other was to explore the boundless void as well as those foreign evil gods. Capturing Myriad Tentacle Stream was in service of the second goal. The statue of the Black Demon Pavilion Master was brought down, followed swiftly by the suppression of Myriad Tentacle Stream, which fell into Lin Yuan's hands. It seemed to take a long time, but in reality, it was exceedingly brief. From the beginning to the end, it was nothing more than a single breath. Elsewhere, the giant eyeball Magic Eye was completely dumbfounded, real fear surging within. Myriad Tentacle Stream, an entity equal in power to it, was gone just like that? Even the activation of the Pavilion Master's gifted statue provided no resistance. Why was such a strong entity not mentioned before? The giant eyeball magic eye felt an upsurge of grievance in its heart. It had thought taking down Tianqing World would be an easy job, especially with the statue of power bestowed by the pavilion master in hand. If not for wanting to minimize the cost, they could have had Tianqing World under their control much earlier. But now, an unfathomable existence like Lin Yuan had emerged. Run! The giant eyeball magic eye, sensing the small figure that dealt with myriad tentacle streams slowly turning its attention towards it, immediately felt its scalp go numb. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 791 The Majesty of God, please subscribe. _3, cut it off for me. The giant eyeball magic eye didn't hesitate to abandon the part of its body that was within the Tianqing world. Its consciousness completely shifted to the remaining body outside the world, and then it frantically fled into the distance. To give up half its body was a severe cost, and it was unknown how long it would take to recover. But according to the precedent set by the myriad tentacle stream, if the magic eye didn't do this, it estimated its entire body would be left behind. Escaping with half its body was much better than being annihilated. From start to finish, the giant eyeball magic eye had no thoughts of resisting or fighting back desperately. There was no point at all. Didn't the myriad tentacle stream resist? Outside the Tianqing world, deep within the boundless void, Wuxia world, a number of foreign evil gods were observing the situation in the Tianqing world with an attitude of watching a drama unfold. However, when they saw the huge body of the myriad tentacle stream rapidly disintegrate into the most origin source of energy, completely swallowed by the Tianqing world, and then its presence nearly vanished, they immediately widened their eyes. What happened? What's the situation with the myriad tentacle stream? Has it fallen? Or has it been suppressed? The numerous foreign evil gods indeed enjoyed seeing changes occur in the Tianqing world. But they never expected such changes to be so fierce, so exaggerated. In the eyes of the foreign evil gods, so-called changes were merely some obstacles that made the magic eye and myriad tentacle streams suffer, requiring them to pay a greater price to conquer the Tianqing world. As for being counter-killed or counter-suppressed, no evil god dared to entertain such thoughts, because the probability was too low. The myriad tentacle stream and magic eye, these two foreign evil gods wielding the trump cards given by the Black Demon Pavilion's master, who could counter-kill them, who could suppress them. Magic eye. The annihilation of the myriad tentacle stream startled the evil gods, and they quickly turned their gaze toward the magic eye not far away. Under the watchful eyes of all the foreign evil gods, the magic eye, with half of its body trapped inside the world, did not hesitate to abandon the trapped half, as the remaining giant eye, like a dog that had lost its home, frantically fled from the Tianqing world, before the numerous foreign evil gods could react. Inside the Tianqing world, a colossal hand suddenly reached out. The hand, millions upon millions of miles large, easily captured the frantically fleeing half-eyeball and swiftly pulled it back into the Tianqing world. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. It took but a few breaths' time. On the world barrier of the Tianqing world, the two huge cracks rapidly healed and finally disappeared from sight. Silence. All the observing foreign evil gods fell silent. They had never imagined that such a reversal would occur. Within the Tianqing world, a mysterious existence had suppressed both the myriad tentacle stream and demonic eye, two foreign evil gods bestowed with bottom-line measures from the Black Demon Pavilion's master. Especially the last scene they had witnessed, where the demonic eye, having abandoned half its body and thinking it had escaped certain death, hadn't had the chance to breathe a sigh of relief before it was harshly snatched back by that grand hand that filled the sky. What in the world? What in the world happened? What existence could there possibly be within that world? Each of the foreign evil gods trembled in their hearts as they looked towards the Tianqing world, a chilling terror suddenly arising within them. In the eyes of such foreign evil gods, any world was a delicacy, a source of sustenance, but at this moment the Tianqing world was making every one of them scalp tingle, wishing they could flee from it immediately. The trouble has been resolved. Lin Yuan casually suppressed demonic eye and took it in, then once again observed the Tianqing world to see if there were any fish that slipped the net. After checking several times, Lin Yuan then turned and returned to the Canopy continent, before the martial hall. I've seen the martial ancestor. High Priest Qingyao immediately greeted Lin Yuan with an utmost respectful bow. Positioned at the highest point in the Tianqing world, High Priest Qingyao had seen everything with crystal clarity. Two infinitely fierce foreign evil gods before Lin Yuan were like two chickens awaiting slaughter, incapable of even a hint of resistance, easily suppressed. This scene greatly shocked High Priest Qingyao, and it was only at this moment that she realized the true extent of the existence of the martial ancestor that the countless beings of the Tianqing world had worshipped day and night for hundreds of thousands of years. I am going to seclude myself, do not disturb me unless there's something important. Lin Yuan spoke briefly and then walked directly into the martial hall. The doors of the martial hall slowly closed behind him. Martial ancestor, High Priest Qingyou's voice trembled, and then she turned around, looked down at the countless martial Dao cultivators and all beings and murmured to herself, "We have survived." Inside the martial hall, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. In front of him floated two misty forms, the life cores of the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream. These two evil gods, Lin Yuan's spirit was incredibly strong, easily completely refining the two life cores and becoming intimately familiar with all their memories. Whether it was the demonic eye or the myriad tentacle stream, most of their memories were of a state of madness, roaming the boundless void, fighting and devouring other foreign evil gods, discovering worlds and then attempting to invade and devour them. Until they met the Black Demon Pavilion's master and realizing they were utterly powerless to resist, they chose to submit. Their power is somewhat interesting. Lin Yuan studied with care. Moments later, Lin Yuan seemed thoughtful as he took up the misty forms again. Speaking of which, although this physical body is innate, strong, deeply rooted, and extraordinarily fitting for martial Tao, has it not embarked upon the martial path evolutionary path? Lin Yuan pondered silently. It was like a naturally strong person who hadn't learned any martial techniques. By cultivating the martial Dao cultivation evolution path with this physique, it will certainly be able to discover deeper potential in the physical body, and moreover, give birth to a fifth physical body divine ability? Lin Yuan's eyes shone bright. Chapter 792 The Fifth Physical Body Divine Ability, please subscribe. The physical body divine ability originates from the depths of the bloodline. When Lin Yuan arrived in the central divine China world, he integrated the essence of body cultivation into martial Tao, and thus possessed a certain ability. Normally speaking, the thicker the foundation of the physical body, the higher the rank of the physical body divine ability that would be born. For example, in the world of gods, Lin Yuan's body possessed the bloodline of the dragon clan. Ultimately, the physical body divine ability that was born was the elemental body, capable of being immune to 90% of the attacks at the same level in terms of rules. And speaking of a profound foundation, none of Lin Yuan's 9 traverses compared to the present. The inexhaustible origin source of the heaven-tilt martial world took more than 100,000 years to gestate into form, and then nurtured the martial ancestor golden body for another 100,000 years. But in terms of foundation, Lin Yuan even felt he wasn't far behind those unique and special beings of the main universe. A body such as this, once excavated through the martial path evolutionary path, what rank would the condensed physical body divine ability be? There shouldn't be a problem. Wuxia world? Site Wuxia world. Site. Lin Yuan examined himself, and to facilitate his descent, this martial ancestor golden body was also a flesh and blood body, meeting all the prerequisites for condensing a physical body divine ability. Let's start cultivating. Lin Yuan's thoughts converged, and his mind sank into immersion. In his past 9 traverses, if Lin Yuan wanted to cultivate to recover his strength, he would inevitably need a large amount of external resources. There was no shackles to his realm, but the accumulation of energy was also a must. But now, this martial ancestor golden body itself contained energy that could be called the energy of an entire world. Otherwise, Lin Yuan could not have easily suppressed those 2 foreign evil gods. And as the heavens will of Tianqing world, with a single thought, Lin Yuan could use everything in Tianqing world for himself. Therefore, the Lin Yuan who fell into cultivation at this moment did not have any delay at all. Just one breath. He had entered the threshold of the first rank martial Tao. 10 breaths, second layer martial Tao. 50 breaths, martial Tao third rank. Half an incense stick, 4th stage martial Tao. 1 incense stick, martial Tao 5th stage. Half an hour, 6th stage martial Tao. And at the 6th stage martial Tao, one begins to unlock the power deep within the bloodline, which is also the stage of the martial path evolutionary path where a physical body divine ability is born. Lin Yuan carefully felt his own body, vaguely sensing that a certain power in the depths of his body was beginning to coalesce and sublimate. I can feel it, this Bodhi's condensed physical body divine ability will definitely surpass the previous 4 types. A sense of expectation faintly emerged in Lin Yuan's heart. So far, Lin Yuan possessed a total of 4 physical body divine abilities. They were blood rebirth, mountain moving, Strengthening. Elemental body. Through past experiences of condensing physical body divine abilities, Lin Yuan felt that the divine ability his body was condensing this time would definitely be extraordinary. Of course, it is hard to say there is a true hierarchy among physical body divine abilities. They yield different effects under different circumstances. But the imprint aura that is coalescing in Lin Yuan's body has a sense of supremacy over the previous 4 physical body divine abilities. At this rate, to completely form the imprint of the divine ability deep within the body, it might take several years or even decades. Lin Yuan pondered within his heart but soon shook his head. That would be the normal situation, which is the time that a regular martial arts evolutionary would need to reach 6th rank during cultivation. But Lin Yuan is not a regular martial arts evolutionary. He is the ancestor of martial arts, and having undergone 9 cycles of rebirth and reconstruction, along with the minutiae manipulation of the physical body from the main universe, Lin Yuan can completely accelerate the speed of the divine ability imprint's formation without any hidden dangers, thus allowing the physical body divine ability to condense earlier. About 3 to 4 days, Lin Yuan estimated. That is to say, in 3 to 4 days, the divine ability imprint deep in his body would be completely condensed. Continue to cultivate. While Lin Yuan focused on the rapid coalescing of the divine ability imprint deep within, he continued to cultivate. Now he was only at 6th stage martial Tao, still some distance from his prime strength. As for not cultivating during the process of condensing the physical body divine ability, to avoid interference with the formation? If it were during his initial condensation of a physical body divine ability, Lin Yuan might have been concerned about this aspect. But now, Lin Yuan naturally didn't need to consider this. There was no helping it. Lin Yuan's realm was too high and his control over the microscopic domains of his body was too strong. Many taboos related to cultivation in Lin Yuan's eyes seemed as if they did not exist at all. Outside the martial hall, the high priest Qingyao stood before a group of powerful beings from the Tianqing world. High priest, are you saying that those 2 invading evil gods were suppressed by the arrival of the martial ancestor? An old man with white hair asked in disbelief. They too had seen the battle that had just taken place, where the 2 foreign evil gods vanished like ants. But they had not determined who the existence that had made the move was. Now, after the high priest's explanation, one can imagine the shock in their hearts. Martial ancestor. The legendary martial ancestor has descended? What else could it be? Besides the martial ancestor, who else could possess such means? Who else would protect us all? The high priest Qingyao spoke slowly, barely having fully recovered from the shock of the martial ancestor's action even now. First, the martial ancestor, who had been worshipped by the beings of the Tianqing world for hundreds of thousands of years, had actually appeared. Second, the martial ancestor was too powerful, so powerful that the 2 foreign evil gods which could almost destroy the world seemed like a joke in comparison. The martial ancestor is merciful, proclaimed the white-haired old man, believing it immediately. He discreetly glanced towards the great doors of the martial hall, his eyes glowing with deep reverence. It was not just him, the other martial Dao cultivators on the scene felt the same. Because they all subtly sensed that, as they gazed into the depths of the martial hall, their own cultivation in the martial path trembled with a sensation of reverence and worship, as if they had laid eyes on the ultimate source of all martial paths in the world. This feeling had never occurred even when faced with the martial ancestor golden body. Therefore, with just a brief explanation from the high priest, there was no question in the minds of everyone present. The martial ancestor needs to go into seclusion for a while. During this time, unless it's a significant matter, there's no need to disturb the martial ancestor, said High Priest Qingyao immediately. Yes, replied the numerous martial Dao cultivators with utmost respect, ready to guard the entrance of the martial hall with utmost diligence, ensuring that the martial ancestor's seclusion would be undisturbed. In the depths of the boundless void, in front of a massive secret realm floating in the void, a towering figure sat cross-legged. This towering figure, a monster with 18 arms, emitted a lunatic and strange aura that spread into all directions. This imposing silhouette was none other than the Black Demon Pavilion's master, a formidable being that instilled terror among the foreign evil gods. I have been contemplating this treasure for hundreds of thousands of years, yet I still feel so far from truly comprehending it. The Black Demon Pavilion master frowned, staring at a map in front of him. Nearly 200,000 years ago, he acquired this treasure from the secret realm before him and had been continuously contemplating it ever since. It was through contemplating this map that the Black Demon Pavilion master's strength made significant leaps, eventually making him one of the most potent evil gods in the region, establishing the Black Demon Pavilion, and commanding a vast number of foreign evil gods. But even with his current strength and status, the Black Demon Pavilion Master was still somewhat dissatisfied because he sensed a great secret within the map before him, and no matter what, he just couldn't fully grasp it. Could this treasure be related to the legendary 9th stage evil gods? The Black Demon Pavilion Master wondered. The growth of foreign evil gods is divided into 9 stages. The 9th stage is legendary, and an evil god that grows to this stage is said to be the dominion over all foreign evil gods. Their power can sweep across the vast and boundless void. For now, the Black Demon Pavilion Master is only an 8th stage evil god. While only one stage separates him from the 9th stage, the more he practiced and grew, the more the Black Demon Pavilion Master realized how distant the 9th stage was. The Black Demon Pavilion Master had a faint feeling that the gap between the 8th and 9th stages was far larger than all the gaps from the 1st to the 8th stage combined, and by a large margin at that. As the Black Demon Pavilion Master continued his contemplation of the map before him, suddenly his expression changed. The demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream I sent out were suppressed? Being in command of a large number of subordinates, the Black Demon Pavilion Master was naturally the first to know everything that transpired outside the Tianqing world. I knew that there was a great secret within that world. In just a few 100,000 years, it had surged its world origin by tenfold. It seems it's really so. The Black Demon Pavilion Master's eyes flickered with a hint of red. Most of his energy and time were spent contemplating the map in front of him, which was why he had the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream take over the Tianqing world. It seems I need to make a trip there myself. The Black Demon Pavilion Master carefully put away the map, then slowly rose to his feet. Considering that the existence inside that world could easily deal with the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream, it must be no simple place. With my power alone, I'm not fully confident about taking it down completely. Thinking this, the Black Demon Pavilion Master immediately started contacting some friends. While true friendship doesn't exist among the foreign evil gods, they occasionally cooperate with each other for mutual benefits. The friends that the Black Demon Pavilion Master called upon were also among the most powerful evil gods in the region, with strength at the same level as his own. In the eyes of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, with his power alone, there was no certainty in facing the entity within the Tianqing world that suppressed the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream. But with the help of several friends, it would undoubtedly be foolproof. Back in the Tianqing world, inside the martial hall, time swiftly passed by 3 or 4 days. In these 3 or 4 days, Lin Yuan had successfully recovered to the 10th stage martial Tao. There was no way around it. In the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan's advantages were too great. Recovering strength was merely a matter of accumulating energy, nothing could be more straightforward. Not to mention anything else, just the infinite world origin contained within the martial ancestor golden body was enough to allow Lin Yuan to rapidly cultivate from the 1st to the 9th rank peak. The stretch from the 9th rank peak to the 10th rank took just a little half a day for Lin Yuan. Recovering to the 10th rank martial Tao strength hadn't surprised Lin Yuan. For him, returning to the 10th rank martial Tao was a matter of course. Even if he had descended into worlds other than Tianqing world, recovering to the 10th rank martial Tao would have been just a matter of time. What Lin Yuan was truly looking forward to was that, after these 3 or 4 days of nurturing, the divine ability imprint deep within his body had finally taken shape. Lin Yuan's 5th physical body divine ability was about to emerge. I wonder what aspect this newly condensed physical body divine ability will entail? Lin Yuan ceased his cultivation, focusing intently on the subtle changes deep within his body. Chapter 793 World, subscribe please. Thud. 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 Lin Yuan's heart beat slowly, each pulsation sending blood to his limbs and throughout his body. For a powerhouse at Lin Yuan's level, the heart was more than just a simple organ. It gathered a vast amount of energy, and the so-called beats were not quite accurate, more like throbs. It was the origin of the physical body, the foundation of the physique. The martial ancestor golden body, that Lin Yuan had cultivated strictly according to human standards, became increasingly solid with every throb of the deep-seated information or imprint within his bloodline, until it was fully formed. An indescribably complex divine ability imprint was born, boiling all the bloodline power throughout his body. With the newly born divine ability imprint, Lin Yuan seemed to see the very beginning of the Tianqing world's creation, even scenes before its birth, like an epic unfolding. The construction of the most minute aspects of the world, any change, all poured into Lin Yuan's mind. Wuxia world. Sight, the birth of a world? Lin Yuan watched, utterly fascinated. In the main universe, 8th layer evolvers created inner worlds within themselves. But this creation wholly relied on the spatial temporal structure of the main universe. It was akin to establishing an incredibly similar world on the template of the main universe. Subsequently, evolvers who understood the rule of time, wielding space and time, considered their inner worlds independent and complete. But no matter how independent or complete, they originated from the main universe. It's like a baby born from its mother, detached from the womb, yet everything about it comes from the mother. And to create a complete world from nothing without relying on any mother. Even an 11th rank life couldn't do it, perhaps only a supreme being would have hoped to achieve this. Replication is easy. Creation is the most difficult. But now, as Lin Yuan watched the condensation of the divine ability imprint at the deepest part of his bloodline, he faintly saw the process of a world being born from nothing. Your insight is against the heavens, observing the birthmark of the world, your understanding of the essence of the world elevates. Lin Yuan was absorbed in observation. Time is unknown. The divine ability imprint within the depths of the bloodline contracted, and a stream of information emerged from it. My 5th physical body divine ability. Lin Yuan's spirit shook and he immediately began to observe the information flowing out from the divine ability imprint. Compared to the 4 previous divine ability imprints Lin Yuan had manifested, the one that had now condensed revealed the most grandeur by far, even involving scenes from before the Tianqing world's inception. These were scenarios that Lin Yuan, as the heavenly Tao of the Tianqing world, couldn't trace back to, but they appeared in his mind after the physical body divine ability was consolidated. Physical body divine ability, O world. Lin Yuan quickly understood his 5th physical body divine ability. This divine ability's might was immensely powerful. Once deployed with Lin Yuan at the center, it would form a world as large as his inner world. Simply put, this divine ability could transform Lin Yuan's inner world into an outer world for a short time. It wasn't a mere shadow of a world or the force of a world, it was an actual world enveloping everything. With Lin Yuan as the master of the world, he could easily control the entire origin power of the world, and any move he made would be amplified 10-fold or 100-fold. The enemies, on the other hand, would be suppressed by the world itself, their speeds plummeting, their strength dropping drastically, weakened in every aspect. This is outrageous, truly outrageous. Even with high expectations for this physical body divine ability, thinking it might become his strongest, Lin Yuan was still inexplicably shocked after learning of the divine ability world and its details. Because this divine ability was simply defying heaven. As everyone knows, when are the combat powers of main universe's 8th layer or higher powerhouses at their strongest? By triggering forbidden secret techniques? By wielding powerful weapons? No, none of these. It's when they are within their own inner worlds, that's when their combat power is at its peak. In an inner world, one can command the tremendous force of the world itself, achieving home ground suppression. The inner world of an 8th rank being is such that even 9th rank and 10th rank beings wouldn't dare to enter lightly. Even with the might of a 10th rank within an 8th rank's inner world, the vast origin power of the world cannot be suppressed. But what if the 8th rank being detonates their inner world? The terrifying explosion of the world's power is fully capable of severely injuring a 10th rank being. An 8th rank injuring a 10th rank? Such a preposterous thing would normally be considered absurd, but if a 10th rank being entered an 8th rank's inner world, it becomes quite possible. However, the home ground advantage of an inner world is strong but somewhat useless. Unless there's imposing disparity in strength, it's nearly impossible to ensnare an enemy within one's inner world. You have your inner world, so do I. Just need to similarly awaken the power of the inner world, neutralize each other, and you can resist being drawn in. It's like 2 magnets with the same polarity. Even if one magnet is many times larger than the other, they repel each other due to same polarity, and under normal circumstances they can't stick together. And when 8th rank powerhouses or 9th rank powerhouses engage in battle, it's usually by crushing the external parts of one's inner world. As for crushing from the inside, everyone's not a fool. How could they easily enter another's inner world? But Lin Yuan's newly born world divine ability could instantly condense an outer world. No matter if you're willing to enter or not, it directly places the surroundings under the domain of its own world, turning any place into a home ground favorable to oneself. Of course, the divine ability world isn't without its drawbacks. It doesn't last long, probably only about 6 seconds. Chapter 794 World, subscribe please. _2 But even that couldn't hide the heaven-defying nature of this divine ability. 6 seconds was enough to do quite a lot. To be trapped inside an opponent's inner world for 6 seconds at the same level of power? It's hard to imagine how many times one would be squeezed and squished. That's too exaggerated, Lin Yuan's eyes slightly heated. Compared to the previous 4 physical body divine abilities, the divine ability world was purely offensive. Once the outer world has formed, Lin Yuan couldn't move. He could only try to defeat the enemy within the maintenance interval of the world. In contrast, even the divine skill enhancement had aspects for preserving life, like triggering enhancement to escape using increased speed. However, I like it. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The divine ability world depended entirely on one's own inner world, because the conjured outer world was based on the inner world as its foundation. The stronger the inner world, the stronger the conjured outer world. And the inner world? That was Lin Yuan's strongest advantage. Although the depth of space was temporary, the sheer size alone was more than 20 times that of his peers in the main universe. The more than 20 times referred to the diameter, and if converted into volume, it was indescribable how many times more it was. Wuxia world. Sight Wuxia world. Sight. This physical body divine ability was simply tailor-made for Lin Yuan. The most powerful application of the divine ability world is self-destruction, Lin Yuan thought rapidly. If he couldn't defeat his opponent in the first 5 seconds, then he would self-destruct in the 6th second. Although the outer world strictly followed the standards of the inner world, it wasn't the inner world itself, but a replica quickly condensed by the divine ability world using the inner world as a template. The size and power were consistent, but it wasn't the same entity. Self-destruction of the outer world didn't mean self-destruction of the inner world. If Lin Yuan eventually triggered the self-destruction of the outer world, at most he would suffer some backlash, a price much lighter than self-destruction of the inner world. Self-destruction of the inner world was essentially a desperate move that meant mutual destruction, whereas self-destruction of the outer world only resulted in some backlash. The gravity of each choice was clear at a glance. With the foundation level of my true Bodhis inner world, once I self-destruct the conjured outer world, even the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank perfections of legendary life forms would undoubtedly die, Lin Yuan thought privately, and I would only suffer some backlash. This was still considering Lin Yuan was at the 10th rank. If he were promoted to tier 11 and once again subjected to Chaos Void Origin Infusion, his inner world's foundation would skyrocket. At that time, the power of self-destruction he could generate from the conjured outer world was beyond Lin Yuan's imagination. Such a move I can only use once. Lin Yuan was well aware. His true physical form's inner world in the main universe reached a size of 200 million square miles, therefore the conjured outer world was of this range as well. For an 11th rank powerhouse, if they figured out the essence of this move, staying over 200 million miles away from Lin Yuan would be possible. The attack range of an 11th rank powerhouse was counted in light years, so a distance of over 200 million miles was trivial. Of course, easier said than done. Lin Yuan could completely conceal his presence, infiltrate within 200 million miles of the enemy, then strike with the divine ability world. Next, the most important thing is to thoroughly comprehend this divine ability imprint. Lin Yuan's expression grew somewhat solemn. Only by fully comprehending the divine ability imprint could he take it to the main world and imprint it on his true spiritual body. The contribution of this divine ability to Lin Yuan's combat power goes without saying. Even if it meant sacrificing the time to understand the spatio-temporal fusion rules, he had to fully comprehend this divine ability imprint first. The spatio-temporal fusion rules could be comprehended anywhere in the main universe, or even in other traversed worlds. But the world divine ability imprint could only be comprehended through this martial ancestor golden body. Outside the Tianqing world, the boundless expanse of the void, the Black Demon Pavilion Master and 3 friends were hastening toward the Tianqing world. An immense and terrifying aura emanated from these 4 outer domain evil gods. All along the way, despite the vast distances, it caused the hearts of other outer domain evil gods to tremble. Is that the Black Demon Pavilion Master? Apart from the Black Demon Pavilion Master, there are also 3 equally powerful evil gods. What could have happened? Wasn't the Black Demon Pavilion Master in closed cultivation? The Black Demon Pavilion Master must be heading to the Tianqing world. Previously, 2 members of the Black Demon Pavilion fell within the Tianqing world. Numerous outer domain evil gods watched from afar. The influence of the Black Demon Pavilion Master was just too great, instilling fear in many outer domain evil gods. Moreover, the fact that he was traveling with 3 other powerful evil gods only added to the concern. Black Demon, what secret does that world hold that you are taking it so seriously? Indeed, what is it that requires us all to go together? Black Demon, you can decide if we join forces, but we can't go on a fruitless trip. The three friends of the Black Demon Pavilion Master exchanged thoughts rapidly as they continued toward the Tianqing world. As outer domain evil gods, they were not known to rise early without cause, expecting them to help the Black Demon Pavilion Master seek revenge for free? Absolutely not. Don't worry, the secrets contained in that world are substantial, enough to rapidly increase the power of the world origin. As long as we take down that world, I am willing to share this secret with you. The Black Demon Pavilion Master glanced at his three friends and continued, moreover, I can let you join me in entering that void secret realm afterward, to explore the opportunities within together. Good. It's generous of you, Black Demon. I will definitely help you with this revenge.